Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Hollywood After Dark, December 7th, 2022. And tonight, folks, is a day that will live in absolute infamy as we discover whether or not James Gunn has severed the head of the previous outliers at Warner Brothers, if he has decapitated James, his rival, Henry Cavill, The Rock, Zack Snyder. Is it all over, folks? Is it all done? Wonder Woman 3 sure as fuck is. We're going to be talking about all that tonight here and more Hollywood After Dark. Let's fucking go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Welcome to the party. Welcome to the show. It's the fucking day. Holy shit. Holy shit. I take a nap. I take naps in the afternoon because I'm an old man. And every time I feel like I go to sleep, I wake up and like some shit goes down. And today was absolutely no different. I go to bed, I wake up, I check Twitter because I'm chronically, terminally online. And all of a sudden, what do I see? I see all of these people freaking out about James Gunn and freaking out about the future of DC and all this stuff. And it turns out that it's been a bit of a wild, crazy afternoon. And that is basically just the topic of conversation for tonight. I see here Rational dropping a $2 super. It says, get to the DC news. First, my friend, there's really only DC news today, right? There's really only DC news today. I mean, other things have happened. Jennifer Lawrence put her foot in her mouth in a very horrible fashion. But no, the news, the big news, the crazy news, the fun news is going to be everything in regards to DC. However, I did not watch the Mad Max live stream where he put my face in the thumbnail. So if anyone actually knows why I'm in it, please let me know. And to help me break down today's news, we got Jimbo, we got Chris, and we got Caden. Boys, what a day.
That was a great intro. I heard you break character. You started laughing.
I don't plan those intros. Those cold opens. Actor. I just kind of go to town on them.
Check out my picture. Check out my picture I put up for the avatar tonight. That's my emo look. That's emo Chris from a couple years ago, in honor of the funeral we're about to have.
We're like, I was going to, oh my God.
We're about to have a second or third funeral for Superman.
Well, what was it? I was watching Spirited with my, that's why I'm late. I was watching Spirited I showed my girlfriend. She didn't watch it yet. And it's it's a feel good Christmas movie, and I'm watching that. And then I was like, I wanted to make a joke. I was going to take that old song, in the arms of an angel. Right. And I was just going to like
dogs.
Yeah. I was just going to overlay like Snyderverse stuff on there and just have that be a joke. But I'm like, for one, I don't want to deal with copyright because I always have to deal with that shit. But I just like, maybe I'll get to it later. Maybe when it's 100% confirmed, because at this point, James Gunn hasn't said anything about today, which I find to be interesting. But today started off with not just, like this news kind of kicked off yesterday, Chris, because we were talking about this last night where all of a sudden Gal Gadot puts up this tweet about how a few years back she was cast as Wonder Woman, and
we said it felt like she was campaigning,
It felt weird. And I'm like, for one, it was 9 years ago. It wasn't a few years back. So it was weird because it was like, if you go back and you look at that tweet, it's not written and there's it's not that there's spelling errors, but there's punctuation errors. And there's it feels like it's very quickly, there, no spell check with no time was spent vetting the tweet. She was trying to type it super fast. I've got to get it out before this news breaks.
Yeah, there's no spaces between sentences.
Yeah, it was like a run-on. It was like a run-on sentence.
And there's a weird gap between a couple letters. It's the spacing issue with her. Yeah, it seems.
But Dick, can I just say before we go into all this? Can I just say I feel horrible for guys like Enosh and Eddie and Rodan who really do love this fandom but called this shit. You know what I mean?
No,
I take no pleasure.
Not Enosh. No. No
I
way.
take no pleasure and dunking on my friends is all I'm saying.
You don't need to dunk on him. You don't need to dunk on him, but like, no, 100%.
Well, I'm going to shit on him a little. I'm just letting you know. I'm going to shit on some of them.
With Enosh, him and I, we don't talk anymore because he kept pulling that you don't know what I know bullshit. And I'm sorry, he'll deny it all he wants, but like multiple people have come to me with that. I know what I've heard. So this is like, no, you were trying to be in the know and it backfired ultimately and you got cocky about it and whatever. That's my truth. I'm sorry. That's what I experienced.
I just mean that I feel bad for my friends that really
Eddie. I feel bad for because Eddie likes to troll. Eddie was
bummed out, legit bummed out.
He looked bummed out on Max's stream earlier. Yeah, he did. I wasn't laughing at that. I thought he was bummed out because like didn't his like Twitter get hacked or some shit?
I don't know about that.
A lot of people had. Well, like I know Hans has had a Twitter.
Some weird Twitter. Instagram bug.
It's a phishing scam.
Oh,
it's a fish. The fappening happened the exact same way. So you know what I mean. Don't click if anything ever asks you for your password. Don't ever do it.
What's just the fappening? I'm kidding. I'm
like, you're a red-blooded American male on the internet. You've clearly witnessed the fappening. Don't even lie, Chris. All right. You know, you could be like the most like cancer-ridden person in the world and you still jerked off to some of those photos.
Jennifer Lawrence, bro. Won't even lie. Jennifer Lawrence. You know, I used to love her. I used to love her until she turned into this monster, but yeah.
She's not a she never graduated. She dropped out of school in middle school, man. She did by her own admission.
She was, but if we want to,
all I'm saying is she can act. She has great. Silver Lining Playbooks is great. The Passengers is great.
She was 50% correct on that what she was saying, but then like
she wasn't 50% correct.
Because some of them.
What are you talking about? She was 130% wrong, bro.
No, if you look at it, she was right in the sense that like majority of them weren't actually full on female led, but yeah, they had female leads, but they weren't the lead.
Yes,
Kill Bill, Charlie's Angels,
narrative
Aliens. What are you talking about?
someone debunked like that whole thing. Aliens. Guess what? Sigourney Weaver was always number 2 on the starring list on every single Aliens movie. She was never number 1 until like the last one she was in.
Wait. Who else? Who the fuck else even starred in Alien 3 outside of Lance Henriksen?
No
one.
British dudes and that guy that plays Rock.
All right,
and Tyrion Lannister's dad.
But I think she was also talking about franchises as well, like because
come on, man, come on, no, look, dude, you can't, dude, Underworld, Resident Evil. You can't sit there and say that Mila Jovovich was like playing second fiddle to somebody. Resident Evil.
She was always, and her husband, her husband's directing the movies, bro. You think she's not going to get top billing?
Well, she wasn't married to him at the time. To be fair, she had, I think, was still with Luc Besson around that time. She has a tendency of hooking up with her directors.
She should have hooked up with Uwe Boll. I'm sorry. I'm done.
I mean, that would have been an interesting thing.
She should have been Blood Rain.
The thing. Well, hey,
sorry,
listen.
I'm going to mute my mic now. I'm done.
Christiana Loken did no, she didn't. But no, Blood Rain is a movie. It exists. We've seen it. The thing is with I don't want to spend too much time with Jennifer Lawrence because if someone debunked it, we can look into that later on. But I think it's the what Variety was saying though, the way they formulated that, it got ratioed the hell and back.
Yeah,
and it was hysterical. Like they deleted the tweet. You know,
they did.
But this is they deleted. Yeah, they deleted.
Yeah, they deleted it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Caden. I almost called you Cameron, but I'm not gonna do that live. And not only that, then they brought it back with her saying it in the video, but they left out the part where she said she was the first.
Talking about like the whole.
They cut part of it out, and the truth is,
they can't even say the first young adult series featuring because it's Twilight was all about Bella.
There have been huge female-led movies, and I'm not trying to hear that shit just because they were supporting actors or they didn't get top billing. Everyone knows Linda Hamilton was the fucking star of Terminator 2, okay? Even though Arnold was in it. Everybody knows she kicked ass the first one with Michael Biehn. She was the lead.
I would argue that she was okay. So with Terminator, really Michael Biehn was because he was the character we were following.
Okay,
right?
yeah, okay. I will.
All right.
I will
and then in
those.
number 2, John Connor was more the character we were following, but Sarah Connor did get a more. Okay.
I will concede how about this? How about this? Not Aliens.
She was such a power. Yeah, Sigourney's definitely number one. But with Terminator, though, I think the best way we can describe it, though, is that like it doesn't matter that, you know, we all know Schwarzenegger in that movie, you know, Michael Biehn and Edward Furlong and everything, but Linda Hamilton's performance in both of those films, and even Dark Fate, I'm going to call Dark Fate on this, were all so good that it elevated her to an extent above them. Right, we still talk about how good she was in that role. You know, but look at Kate Beckinsale. Look at Kate Beckinsale with Underworld. They did 6 of those fucking movies. Although I don't think she was in number 3. That was the Rise of the Lycans.
Rise of the Lycans. That was the other.
That was Sienna Miller, I think, right?
Yeah,
that
was.
I
love.
I do love.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, here's
Doomsday or whatever.
Yes. Do you know that she also, dude? Fucking Doomsday is a legit good movie.
Yeah,
Doomsday is a legit good movie. Also directed by the guy who did the Hellboy reboot, Neil Marshall, which is why I was all down for Hellboy. Also, Dog Soldiers. He did Centurion with Michael Fassbender.
Yeah,
that was pretty solid. It's on Netflix, I think, right now. But it's like, I love Neil Marshall. The Battle for Blackwater, the season 2, episode 9, for Game of Thrones. He directed that one. So anyway, I fucking love Neil Marshall, man. Descent, you know.
Yes.
Anyway, like female. The thing is, though, is like a lot of these. I think when it comes to these celebrities, a lot of the times they read the trades and they look at what the trades have to say and how the trades push this bullshit sometimes. And because the trades do, they'll be like, you know, this is like the first movie starring, you know, a half Filipino, half black, transgender, otherkin actress.
Why do they feel the
starring in this role? And you're like, but like, how was her acting? Or their acting, whatever they identify as, I don't know. You know, and that's what they do. And they do this to create these weird, like look at how the arbitrary some of the responses to the box office are. Like, this was the number 1 movie opening on a Tuesday during the holiday season during a full moon eclipse on a leap year
with a Democratic president. Yeah. Mladen, you're right. It is Rona Mitra. That's her name. Rona Mitra.
It was Rona Mitra, not Sienna Miller. My bad. You know, here's the fucked up. Do you know Rona Mitra was the original model for Tomb Raider for Lara Croft? Back when they did the very first. Yeah, Rona Mitra was the very first model to portray Lara Croft, like in all the promo photos.
Cynthia Rothrock. Wow, you're digging deep, Neon Sci-Fi. That's old school, like fucking female-led martial arts movies from the early 80s. Wow, he went deep cuts with that one, man. But yeah, Jennifer Lawrence is full of shit. That's you know.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I agree. Say Matt Jarbo. I go to bed. Okay, thank you, Patrick.
Thank you for your
I don't know.
Patrick.
I don't know what that means. RJ. Oh, so RJ is still covering from his tonsillitis surgery.
Yeah, I was talking to him in the DMs. He
can't speak.
Good.
He's so mad. Everyone give a lot of love to RJ. Also,
Rip
RJ, if you come into the back room and you post in the private chat, we can see it, and then I can bring it up. So there's that. Also, I guess the Grace Randolph had dropped a video that's going to be interesting. If you guys hear one of my kids in the background, I apologize. She, for some reason, I told her tonight before streaming, this is one of the reasons why I'm late. I'm like, okay, kiddo, night night, and she's like, night night, and then she looks at me, she goes, no.
See, that's funny. They're at that age, bro.
And I'm like, oh, you 3-year-old little punk ass.
Yeah, I miss when mine was that young.
There
now
you
she's
go.
driving.
There you go. You hear, yeah. Whereas my 5-year-old is just like, what? She was like all cuddly with me. She's like, hi, daddy, I love you. I'm like, you're the good one.
You're the good one.
No, they're both my kids. Both my kids are
violence.
Reed. I'll take a look at that later on. Reed had brought up the Andor Honest trailer. We'll get to that maybe if we have time. I don't want to focus on a lot of stuff other than what's going on.
Yeah, it's pretty big
with
story,
everything.
Man. And Grace went in pretty hard, Maddie.
Yeah,
she went in pretty hard, man.
Yeah.
But you know what? After all the shit she's taken, like I've said, Grace has some bad takes, nuclear bad takes, but she's always kind of pretty professional, or tries to be, unless she's taking shots at like Jessica Chastain or whatever that girl's name is. But she was right about this stuff, and she deserves to get her roll off. That's how I feel. She deserves to cut in on these people a little bit and be like, ha ha, I was right and you was wrong. Now enough with the toxic bullshit. I can see why she went in hard tonight.
Well, because a lot of people are freaking stupid. You know what I mean? Like there's people that are saying like that, the certain people are going to come out and they're going to make a lot of claims about James Gunn. They're going to say all these things about James Gunn.
Fire
right?
James Gunn is trending.
Know that we
Is
were
it
the ones
trending
that
right
were
now?
calling
It's
him
trending
the
right now.
Oh my God. I'm sorry, Kaden, what were you saying?
Didn't you guys know that we were the ones that were calling the P word?
Right. Yeah. That's apparently, yeah, that's the thing.
Like
That's what they were
apparently
trying to
we were
say.
the ones that, yeah. Damn.
Oh,
We're
that
supporting
group.
him now.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah, fire James Gunn is trending for me at least, and for Chris. It's only got like 1,700.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then I
like-
clicked over just for the hell of it
Yeah.
before you went live to see what the other group was saying, to see what like Skywalker and Zod was saying, and just the conspiracy theories and the copium is so.
Oh my god.
I couldn't even watch
then-
it. Usually I watch it and I kind of think it's funny, but tonight I was just like, yeah, fuck this shit. I don't have time for this shit.
Well, right now, trending nationwide is a bunch of DC related. Aquaman, James Gunn is trending. Wonder Woman is trending. James Gunn is trending at number 15 right now. You
Yeah,
know, and
15
so
17 for DCEU, Lobo 20. And that's the only ones I see right now.
yeah, people are they're all sorts of mad about this too. That's great. Like it's just okay. So I think there's a couple things today that we got to touch upon before we get to the Variety article that are definitely important to this particular discussion.
Oh, it's cohesive. They're related. Yeah.
And
sure.
and like so we started off talking about that. Well, hold on, there's a couple. Oh, by the way, Dwayne's Johnston for $2 super sticker. Thank you, Dwayne's Johnston. That's fantastic, sir.
Baby.
And then there's also here Rational for 5. Thanks, buddy. Says Matt, if Gunn hard reboots and gets rid of all the DCEU actors and cancel sequels to films, wouldn't that massively hurt talent relations? No, because the talent relations at this point in time have probably been dicked around enough to where it's like they're going to be more like mad at their management for not getting this shit off the ground earlier. You know, when like there was like, okay, go back a couple years, go back to when, and we'll talk about Black Adam because Black Adam ties into this, but back in 2019 is when they greenlit Black Adam, a movie that had been in development for 10 years.
Development hell. Yeah.
Development hell. They finally got it off the ground because there was this massive, like huge shopping spree going on, or spending spree happening over at Warner's, because with Warner Media, Jason Keelar's core plan was to just shove as much DC content out there as he could, as well as to bolster, HBO Max, because that was the angle he was going for. And at that time, they still were not able to get a Batman project off the ground. That wasn't Robert Pattinson. They weren't able to get a Superman project off the ground. I mean, Wonder Woman 2 was already in filming, but like they didn't do anything to try to save that movie. I don't know why they just let it languish the way that they did. But they were like, I think they didn't really care about the quality. They were just trying to get people to HBO Max. That's why even the Snyder Cut was announced. Like,
I think Wonder Woman 84 was a big part of that. They were like, here, look, we're going to give you Wonder Woman 84, and Dune's going to be the first. They put up that big list of day and day.
yeah.
And
yeah,
Wonder
yeah.
Woman was the first one, if I'm not mistaken. Wonder Woman was the first, because me, Brodan, that we all went out and got HBO Max just for that movie. We're like, well, fuck it, we're gonna get it anyway, and I want to see Wonder Woman, and we all watched it right around.
A lot of us actually got HBO Max in May of 2020 when they announced the Snyder Cut, right? Even though it wasn't coming for another 10 months, we had.
Yeah, that was a big part of it too.
A lot of us had
Right.
got it and held on to it, going like, this is like a preemptive show of support. So instead of just giving you $15 for 1 month or 10, whatever it was, I think like 12 or whatever, we're going to effectively give you $120 per person. And there's like tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands who could do it. And
Matt, that's what we paid.
That's
You don't
effectively
remember?
what for.
When HBO Max first dropped, there was no, hey, you can buy it a month at a time. You had to go 6 months or a year.
No, I bought it a month at a time. I don't know.
I had to get 6 months of that shit for $79.
Weird. I don't know. All I'm saying on that essentially is just like people were paying out money before they were paying out money on that before Wonder Woman 80, they made the announcement that the day and date was going to happen. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like they reacted to the pandemic, they reacted to the shutdown, and I still think Keelar made the right move. I really do. I think Jason Keelar made the right call with what he did, and I think he'll eventually be proven right.
I don't.
But
follow
everyone
any of
just
those guys.
they're just mad at him and everything else because look, Birds of Prey was poorly marketed by Warner Brothers. It was like Birds of Prey and the emancipation of the fantabulous Harley Quinn, right? Or wasn't like
that was it.
They changed the title. I remember that.
Yeah, well, it was at
Well,
first,
it
yeah,
was-
they, and
First
then it was,
Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey, and then it was Harley Quinn and it was Birds of Prey and
the
and
fabulous
Harley Quinn,
emancipation Quinn.
and then it turned into Birds of Prey just straight up, and then it
no,
turned into
because
Birds of Prey.
because they did Birds of Prey. Then it was Harley Quinn : Birds of Prey, and they
Yeah,
tried putting
that
that
was
in
the
theaters,
first
and then
one.
they just dropped it, and then they dropped it to just Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
Either way,
It's a whole history of that.
It's a
movie
whole
was
thing.
Just
They
yeah.
fucked it up. And you know what? And because of the pandemic, it lost
Could
money.
have been marketed. Definitely could have been marketed better.
It could have been made better, written better across the board. I mean, I've watched it again, and like I don't hate the movie.
No, I don't hate it. And the third actually fun.
I find a lot of the action, like the police scene, to be amazing. And that was a lot of that was Chad Stileski. So look, here's the thing. If they reboot this stuff, which is looking like they're going to reboot this stuff, they're going to do it because it's cost effective. We have to understand that it's cost effective. And that's a big part of of everything else. Real quick, Zap here's asking, Legendary went to Sony. What do you think of the fate of Monsterverse at Warner? That's staying where it's at. Because that's they still have that deal with Warner Brothers. So that's still staying there. That's not changing.
Are they still in good with what's that Japanese company called?
Toho?
Are they still in good with Toho? Because remember,
I mean,
was
Toho
like,
is doing another Godzilla movie, but I
that's
don't
good
know.
then. Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen with that. Now, Garrick here also for 5 bones. Thanks, buddy. He says The Rock is still trying to spin Black Adam as a financial success. Do you think he has a place in Gunn and Safran's plans, or is he done? Well, that's a good question. That's kind of kicks off a large part of the conversation because yesterday, as we talked about, there was that there was that little discussion
Puff piece.
about what is it? There we go. About Gal Gadot, right? And then of course there was the report saying the other day that Black Adam was actually going to end up costing Warner Brothers approximately $50 to $100 million. And The Rock was silent on that.
Yeah.
He was silent about that. But then today he tweets this out. Waited to confirm with financiers before I shared the excellent Black Adam news that our film will profit between $52 million and $72 million. Fact. At almost $400 million worldwide, we are building a new franchise step by step. First Captain America did 370 for the DC future. So this is the thing. If you've been really paying attention to what he's doing, he's been...
That tweet bothers me. I'm going to be honest.
It bothers me.
I don't like the comparison to the first Captain America.
Because that was
that's wrong.
Because
it makes it
MCU movie.
Yeah, also it kind of like, if anything, the Captain America First Avenger of the Black Adam side of the universe is Shazam.
A, why compare it? Okay. And B,
also, why compare it?
The Rock has such an ego. It just feels like he cannot take the L. He's got to get out there and be like, look, it's still a win. It's not a big win, but I didn't take an L on this. It just feels, just feels like copium to me, man.
Even to push the whole thing where it's like, oh, like in the article, it pushes like, oh, it'll become a profit with merchandise and DVD sales. I'm like, to push that is so weird.
Yeah. Well, this is the article here. And it is weird. It is weird. But I'm saying this is what it is, And it's like, when have you ever seen an article like this really pop up? That struck me as odd that Deadline is running, is running. Oh no, they canceled Mono. I don't know. Anyway, sorry. Deadline is running this defense piece for Black Adam. And you're like, all right, that's a little bit on the odd side, but they do talk about the financials and, cause again, what was it? THR reported that that they spent 200 million on the movie, 180 million on the marketing.
Now, it's been clear, it's 290 million in production, apparently on actual production. And then 80 to 100 for marketing was put for this. So
290?
Yeah.
195, wow. I thought.
Well,
that's the thing.
And then Umberto and someone else tweeted that, and I was like, wait, what?
Right. Yeah. Hold on, I'll bring that up.
And I was like, that's like
yeah. He posted
big...
that. Yeah, he did post that
Yeah.
earlier today. Let me find that here. And even he's talking shit about like Henry Cavill being back around at this point in time. And apparently, oh my God, there's even other pieces of information as well. So there was like the Hawkman news that apparently came out today. That's now been removed. That's now been removed from this article.
That was in this article.
I didn't even know that. Like,
And
that's fucking
it was
nuts,
like
dude.
Black Adam sequel and Hawkman spinoff are being mapped out with
$7, right?
With $7. So, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, Hawkman spinoff is being developed." No, it's not. It's being mapped out by $7, not by WB and DC, but $7. And that's when you know that this article's source is $7.
Well, maybe that's what
They
The
have
Rock
no
means
mention
when
of
he
WB.
says.
Well, they
Maybe
also
that's what he
called
means
it,
when he says he's building his own company. They're building.
but they also had referred to it not as Hawkman but Hawkeye in the deadline article,
Hawkeye.
and then they removed it. Culture Crave had reported that earlier, but apparently the tweet that Umberto had put out there about the budget of Black Adam has been since deleted. I saw it earlier today. I did see him tweet it, but he's since deleted it. So we can't really run on that as a particular, because I mean, hey, you know, if that's what he's hearing, whatever. But it does appear that at this point he has probably like backed off of that. But this article is absolutely something that is look, this is a planted article. I even said that in our DM group earlier. I said, this is complete plant. This is it's all it is. So I'm, you know, wow, the amount of hot takes in that is insane. I mean, we're talking about what's been going on, The Watcher. I'm sorry, you know, you're high on copium. Perhaps go to a methadone clinic, get cleaned up a little bit, and then come back.
Oh my God.
What?
Brutal.
What?
Too brutal.
He's in one of those moods, guys. He's in one of those moods.
I kind of am, you know, it is what it is. But I'm just saying, it's like, you know, this article is absolutely a plant, and that's why the Rock is treating it as it is. But what I caught was interesting about this before we even we'll dive back into this article. I was really curious. I'm like, this, you know, Anthony D'Alessandro guy. He's a studio parrot, right? He runs with the scoops that they give him. That's all these guys do. Yeah, I get it. So there was another one that he put out from a few months ago. You guys might remember. Oh yeah, remember this little ditty?
Oh, that was him.
Yeah, he's on the article here. The article that talks about Henry Cavill making his appearance at Comic-Con. It was down here, right? It was on the Saturday, I believe. Right?
I'm not gonna have this guy, okay, in Deadline saying they broke the story and having Sil and Mikey disrespected like that. Everyone knows Sil and Mikey broke the story first.
Yeah, it was higher up about it. I'm just trying to find it here. You know, I'm just gonna. You know what? This is why.
There. The last sentence of the first paragraph on your screen.
Okay. Oh, there we go. There's also
Cameron
Buzz.
got those hawk eyes, man.
Yeah, he does. Caden.
No, I call him Cameron.
Jesus. Anyway,
maybe this
there's also
Buzz that was about me.
Maybe there was. Who knows? There's also buzz that Henry Cavill will put in a surprise appearance to talk up more Superman. So, and we come to the realization at this point that this is flat the fuck out something
From
that is.
$7.
This was a plant. And from $7 camp, right? They were trying to build a hype over this, and it worked. It effectively worked. So, it's one of those. It did because people were
no, like as in for the end success.
For the end success, like again, Superman meant nothing to Black Adam. Let's be absolutely fair. I know people out there are going to disagree. That's a hot take. It was, oh my God. I thought the cameo was good. I thought the cameo was good.
But it didn't make or
it did
break
nothing
shit.
for the movie.
It didn't make or break shit.
Yeah, it's I'm just saying, like, that's all that it is. That Fandom NSL here says the plot thickens. It does. But this is how this stuff works. This is how this stuff in the industry operates. People will throw out information like two other like they plant stories all the time to dictate narratives, to dictate what's going on. So, and this is what other people have been trying to report on. And here's the thing. I'll be honest with you guys. I haven't fully paid attention to what a lot of other people have been saying recently. So I don't know the extent of some lies. But when we talk about this, what we're seeing is collusion between $7 and fucking, and obviously this. Also joining us is Miss Saggy Melons.
No, I'm James Gunn.
Yeah, no, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
No, you're not.
Is that Max? Is that actually Max?
No. Max is too afraid to come on here tonight.
Hey.
He's got the he's got the link, but he's too afraid to come on. So
No, because Max doesn't want to have, actual, defined takes. He plays both sides and doesn't actually form,
he rides the fence.
That's the thing.
That's the
why
only time
why
I
am I in this
this thumbnail?
thumbnail? Why am I in this thumbnail?
I don't know.
Is he bisexual?
Who, Max? I don't know. I mean, he is from the East Coast, so it's entirely
You
possible.
said he plays both sides.
Oh. I'm gonna play both
okay.
sides. I'll take a little bit of something in my
But just remember, before we're all too hard on Max, just remember, Max has a huge heart and he's an optimist.
Hard? Wait, who's hard? Who's hard?
He's super hard.
He's got a big heart and he's an optimist.
trying
I
to-
understand why he tries to, be
Yeah.
like, well, we don't know if this is a fact for sure, but a little bit of that is cope,
Yeah.
He needs to
But
take
all
a
right.
stance.
Okay. So getting back into this, here's something we need to consider here, right? So this article talks about the fact that they're trying to argue how Black Adam can be successful, and they do rightfully bring up the home video sales, right? So in PVOD, it has been #1 on the iTunes charts for about 2 weeks. I don't know what that translates to, but even movies like The Northman, which did meh in theaters, actually turned a profit on PVOD. So that ancillary market is still going to do well. They are going to be putting themselves, putting this movie on HBO Max, and then it will go to TNT. And these are just 2 instances of Warner Brothers literally paying themselves for the movie, right? So that's kind of what's happening here. I don't know if this article says it, but somebody else pointed out. No, did this article bring this up, Caden, about the 68 million?
It's in the little chart in the bottom.
Oh, okay. So
if you see an $86 million, it's them paying themselves.
There we go. Domestic home entertainment and streaming, 86 million is what they're paying themselves. Which Caden's right.
Because it's like majority of that
button
is themselves, and probably
so
10%
it's
of
imaginary
that
profit.
is to some other place, but majority of that is themselves. So really, that's minus 86 million out of that. What really is the profit?
Well, it's the thing is though, it's like, look, this right here, this to me reads like internal projections coming in from $7, right? This reads like internal projections coming in from that. But you got to subtract that 86 million. I'm sorry, them paying themselves is like, it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. Now that is Hollywood accounting. Let's be absolutely fair. But out of that net profit, who gets those? What is the percentage breakdown? You don't get shit, Jimbo. Shut the fuck up. But it's like,
really? How much does Target and Walmart get to hold those DVDs? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. How much do they get out of that 86 million?
Kaden, stop. Kaden,
What?
it's okay.
What?
Garrick, I see you. We'll get to
was
that here in a
Jimbo.
second.
Jimbo, shut the fuck up.
What the fuck? Hold up. How do you change tone? You're like, oh my god, Kaden. And then you're like, shut the fuck up, Jimbo. What the fuck is this shit?
Because I thought it was Kaden that couldn't stop laughing, and it was you nerd.
Fuck.
So anyway, Alex here, side channel says, it isn't the entire 86 million they paid themselves. It's lumped in with home video sales. Yeah, that 86 million should kind of be subtracted because it's not ancillary,
or at least really put the domestic home entertainment and take out the streaming. Because then it's like, if you take out the streaming and if it's 86 million, then it's like, okay, then that's not really paying themselves. But guess what? Black Adam is going strictly back to HBO Max.
I like
So
that.
it's like,
it's kind of ridiculous.
so
Although
how much percentage of that 86 million is going to them?
Who knows? It sounds dumb.
Well,
Who
it's
cares?
it's really like how much percentage of that 52 million net profit that they're trying to argue here is gonna be going
Like,
you know,
how do we not know that 52 million goes back to the theaters?
Yeah, optics moisture. That's what.
well,
it
that
was all
52 million does.
about.
I mean, that 52 million would probably be more like, I don't know. I mean, that's what. Who knows? I don't know. All we know is like I'm just saying I don't necessarily believe this, just because like I mean I'm not saying that it's wrong. What I mean by that is like the framing of it, because we never see breakdowns like this. We never see financial, like even the numbers.com ever gets this kind of detailed shit. That this is behind the curtain spin to tell us something is the, you know, to prove a narrative. And then this dropped this morning.
Yeah, the timing.
The timing of it. Yeah. So this morning, because a couple days ago it was Black Adam's a flop, and then today it's like Black Adam made a 52 million to 74 million for Warner Brothers. And it's like, what? Wait, what? Huh? And then a couple hours later it's all like, fuck the DCEU. This shit's dead. And then, real quick though, Rational, if Skywalker is going crazy, dude, give me a couple clips. But don't post them on Twitter. I can't DM those clips or download them. Send them to me on Insta. And I can save them that way. But if he's freaking, I love to watch that man cry. I don't know why, it's funny. You know what they say that
they say that fun to watch grown men cry.
Well, they say they say that the more you watch porn, the weirder your fetishes get. Maybe I'm just at that point. I don't know. Maybe hypersensitive peanut-headed bitches, they just fucking get me going. I don't know. I'm in a mood tonight. I'm sorry. I'm in a mood. I'm in a mood.
Feisty. Man,
anyway, Moisture
like
here.
Superman died again.
No, that made me sad because I like Superman. But Moisture here says, why would studios pay themselves to stream their own movies? That's not profit. It's because it's all part of the accounting.
Yeah.
Right. It's all that, like, because the same thing you get, like, why did David Zaslav
Hollywood accounting?
Well, it's not so much Hollywood. There's unions and there's also contract agreements and things like that. Yeah. So you figured like one of the reasons why David Zaslav was cutting all the animation and he was killing all those shows and pulling them from the service is because they didn't have to pay revenue residuals, right? Like for example, The Office on Netflix famously cost Netflix $100 million a year to rent it, to license it for Netflix. And they paid it gleefully because that is how popular The Office was on Netflix. You know, the streaming rights for The Big Bang Theory, the distribution rights and the streaming rights both sold for $1 billion.
Yeah, Friends and that 70s show as well. They were big.
They sold a lot, right? So they do this because it may not be, it's not like direct profit, but it's like it kind of pads their back end, and then it pays residuals out to the people who have the contracts, like the above the line people. So there's why hold on. I don't care about Black Adam. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you so disrespectful to people like me in the chat? Like, what the fuck? Isn't your whole show copium? How's it copium? I'm laughing at what's being posted today, and I'm providing my take on what's being posted today. You're the one coming in here like hot takes, you guys.
Yeah, we are. These are
super hot takes.
We're not theorizing.
Yeah, and you come in and you sometimes the comments you make just sound like because you're gargling some balls when you do it. I don't fucking know, dude. Like,
God damn,
try pulling the tea bag out your mouth a little bit. Fucking take a swallow and realize that maybe you should be your own fucking person. All right. Like, that's what it boils down to.
Viewers, confirm.
No, I love everyone that watches. But if you come at me with some bullshit, like, I'm gonna fucking fire back because one of the things about me, and I just feel this is just fair. One of the things about me is I very much I'm very transparent about my beliefs and my points, and I try to provide as much data as I can to support those theories. So if you're just like, it's a hot take, either I'm being hyperbolic and don't take it seriously, or shut the fuck up.
I still love you, the Watcher. I still love you.
I love you too.
Oh, fuck off. You traitorous Benedict Arnold bitches.
Good. I'm okay with that. You know what?
Judas.
30 pieces of silver.
He wouldn't say it to my face, though. It's fine.
I would absolutely say it to your face.
Oh,
you're like 4'2". I'd be like talking to a small
and I will
child.
bite your ankles. What are you talking about? You don't love your ankles.
I have amazing ankles.
Yeah,
my ankles would completely blind you. From one, how white they are because I'm a pasty dude, but two, they're just.
You know what's surprising? I'm a black girl, but I have the whitest legs because I don't see the sun. My legs do not see the sun ever, so I have white. I have very pasty legs as well.
Anyway, look, we're talking. Not that I don't like you. It's not. I have nothing against you, but you come in here with some really like shitty ass opinions, and I fucking like. I'll push back on that. I think it's funny for one to push back on those kind of comments, and two, people that are like, you just want an echo chamber, like you want to come in and fight me, I'll give you a link and we can fight about this. I have no problem with that. You guys know I like to argue.
This
I'm
is
Italian.
true. That's one thing we haven't.
Argue.
I'm
I argue
1% Italian, but I act like it's 100.
Yeah, Job on me argue all the time. It's great.
Try being best friends with Brodan. You think you're not getting any arguments on a daily basis?
I think a lot of us, people get
I think people give us a hard time for being friends with Matt and stuff, and you're like, you do understand, like we argue with him just as much as everybody on the internet does too, right? But it's like we're friends, so we handle it differently. But like me and Matt, like especially me and Matt, we get into it a lot in our DM groups.
Yeah, we argue all the time, and the shit that she says to RJ is just mean. So, if you want to cancel anyone, cancel Saggy.
That's true. I go in on RJ, but he just had his surgery, so I've been really nice.
So you're going to be nicer to him now? That's it?
Yeah. He can't fight. He can't actually argue with me. Once his throat's healed, we'll argue, but I can't be mean to RJ right now.
So he bullies me on the daily. I just want to let this known. I want to come out, and if you want to file a defamation lawsuit against me,
I think part of it too is like when you have friends, dudes do this a lot. Is just that you just talk a lot of shit to each other.
Oh yeah,
like, that's about it.
We
Like,
call it busting balls. We
it's
just bust
all,
balls constantly.
but if anyone ever goes too far, it's like, dude, that's too far. Okay, back off. Like there is a level of respect there, but we do say some really mean, fucked up things to each other.
Well,
and I think
no,
it's funny.
Like I said, unless you're best friends with Brodan, then it gets ugly.
Well, no, it's more like I can say fucked up stuff to my friends, but if other people say it, oh, I'm attacking you like crazy. Like I'm the only one who can bully my friends. You can't bully my friends. And I'm not abusive. It comes from love, Jimbo.
No, that's every circle. Every circle's like that.
Yeah, I forget who it was. Someone was like talking shit about. I think it was like someone talking shit about Max, and I kind of went off on him, and I'm like, no, he's my friend.
Oh yeah, no, I can say that plenty of times. We'll all be like dogpiling on Max, and somebody else will do it and be like, "Whoa, wait a minute, bitch!"
Right? Like if
you're not part of this circle,
like right. I talk shit to RJ, but when I see people talk shit to RJ, I'm right there like an attack dog, like. Ruff, ruff, ruff.
Yeah, RJ.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing though. Max is coping over this, obviously, and a lot of people are coping over this. Like today is kind of like, okay, here's a really bad analogy. Today is like the day you find out that your sick dog has cancer and you have to put it down. All right? Like that's basically what's going on. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Because like you think, you know what? You
analogy that Casey did in the space is.
It's like
the playground. I'm not going to use a playground analogy. All right.
No,
okay.
Listen. I like the meme that Grace put up where it said Snyder fans online, and it looked like Mecca. You know what I mean? It was massive, and then
Mecca is just.
But by the way, I just wanted to point out, because I said it in Spaces, but I'm going to say it here too, and you guys are my witnesses. I kind of already predicted this whole reboot thing that they're going to be doing a while ago. I do want a cookie, because for once Saggy got something right and no recognition.
I know. I watched that stream. I remember.
Right.
Women's rights where? Me.
No recognition.
I got a better analogy.
I don't.
It's almost. It's like studying hard for a test, but then getting the results back and realizing you failed.
Right.
Yeah. I don't even know what the fuck you like. When did you say it anyway?
This was like a while back when we were talking about the Flash movie, and I was saying that most likely they're going to take this chance while the merger's happening. That
it was. I was going to say that, Saggy.
I was talking. I said that. Yeah,
it was right after the merger.
Yeah, I said that. I said the Flash movie is most likely going to be them rebooting everything, and then they're going to probably erase the Justice League.
And a lot of us have been saying that. A lot of
us. I mean, there's so much going on. Honest to God, there's like so much that like so many rumors are floating around. Like I haven't really paid much attention, but I do find this pretty funny right here. So this was just posted seconds ago. by someone named Snyderverse22. We are DC. Hashtag restore the Snyderverse. Saying fire James Gunn is trending along. Bring back Zack Snyder. 1,300 tweets. Because it's trends for you. I mean, this is, again, they don't know what they're talking about because they're not the brightest.
Did Zack just not get a contract extension for more of?
No, because he's not like he's not working with them. Like, that's
not with Warner Brothers. I'm talking about, didn't Netflix just say, here's some more money to make part 4, 5, and 6 or whatever? Is that
no.
true?
Well, there was an article. I saw this pop up because he just announced that Rebel Moon had just finished filming, and they had said that it was like, they didn't say that it was part 1 and they shot part 1 and part 2, but I thought that it was basically Rebel Moon 1 and 2 is what they shot, right? But I'm guessing like it's Rebel Moon is going to be like, it's going to be 2 parts, like it's going to be a thing. And so on the table, there's like option for more. And I think that Zach will, they're going to give him what he wants. I think it's going to do quite well. So yeah. And we can kind of tell at this point that they're probably not going to end up bringing Zach back. But I do want to bring up one thing real quick. And this is to kind of get us back on track here because this is why people are, like fucking here. Let me just see. Gosh darn it. Let me find it again here.
Well, I think a nail in the Snyderverse coffin, even though I don't take any joy in that, is part of the conversation. Like, this is definitely a nail in that Snyderverse coffin. I don't care.
Oh, dude, 100%. Like 100%. So one of the things, though, that again popped up yesterday was that weird Gal Gadot comment. And today, Scott Mendelson posted this, and this is sent to me by Garrick for $2. Thank you, buddy. Saying here, this is from Scott Mendelson. Who says Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman 1984 makes $170 million worldwide on a $200 million budget amid pre-vaccine COVID. Wonder Woman 3 gets canceled. James Gunn's Suicide Squad makes $169 on a $180 million budget, and they let Gunn run the whole franchise, right? And it's like, it's a weird tweet. It's a weird tweet because this seems like, again, people are trying to like use this as like an attack on Gunn.
Well,
it feels
it's also
like
disingenuous. They gave him the slot because they felt he could run it. And let's factor in how successful his Peacemaker TV show is and how successful the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise is. Just because it's part of MCU doesn't mean that this guy's not a successful person and knows how to run shit. I mean, that's a disingenuous tweet.
Well, Scott Mendelson.
What did he say that Wonder Woman 84 got?
He says Wonder Woman 84 made $170 worldwide on a $200 million budget amid pre-vaccine COVID.
Made 165.
Did it do 160? I mean, well, because it was also day and date, like,
But yeah, and I mean, I said this on Max's stream that even though like they're close by like 1 to 2 million, but which one do you give more like leeway to? Wonder Woman 84 or the Suicide Squad? Wonder Woman 84 to this when you have, like they said, the beginning of COVID and day and date and Christmas time, and then you have the Suicide Squad, who's also at the height of COVID, day and date, and at the end of the summer.
So it was. He says post vaccine, but it was also Delta variant, and the vaccine had like still just been rolling out for a few months at that time. So that's disingenuous.
And also like you said, the vaccine was out.
But look at the critical.
Matter
look
when
at the
they
responses.
were both day and date. Matt, does any of that matter when they were both day and date?
Well,
it doesn't even matter.
It's a little bit different. For what is this? What are you bringing up?
Just the numbers, because Caden said that it made, so basically the budget was 200 million and it made 169.6 million. It was just estimate of like 170. So
I'm looking at the numbers right now. It's like one.
Nice.
I don't know where they get the 9.
I don't know.
That's what the person who tweeted got. I'm assuming that's where the person who tweeted it got the numbers from Google. I just wanted to show that.
Oh, okay.
What was Jimbo going to say?
So I'm looking at the numbers and Box Office Mojo. They say like 165, 166.
Oh, okay.
So
one of the things, again, the thing to consider here is that while Wonder Woman, they were at different times. Like, but look at the audience response to Wonder Woman and the audience response to Suicide Squad.
Exactly.
The audience, I mean, like Wonder Woman, when we talk about Wonder Woman now, we go, that movie sucked and she raped a guy. We talk about Peacemaker, we're like, we talk about Suicide Squad, we're like, yeah, it was all right. Like, like it was a fun movie, but Peacemaker's fucking great.
Let's fucking go. Poke it out.
Yeah,
man.
let's fucking go. Exactly. And I think Suicide Squad was a fundamentally far superior movie to Wonder Woman 84 in every conceivable. The only part of Wonder Woman 84 that I truly enjoyed was the very, very, very opening of the movie on Themyscira, because I just happened to enjoy Themyscira. The scene in the mall was like, I'm watching the scene in the mall and I'm going, this is like Richard Donner 2.0? Like, I've seen this before. Like, this is not it, and then again, like, just elements of that. Never mind the whole thing with the kids, right? When she like falls, with the kids, and like you can tell that it's a dummy.
I don't know. I just think the story is a little weird. It's like, oh, what's the point of watching this whole movie if it literally leads to nothing and it's pointless?
It's not a good story.
It's just not even that aspect.
Like a monkey's paw would have been a better wish stone.
It's just really cringy a lot. But like that's the thing. Like with Suicide Squad, like this is kind of like my thing. Like with this whole James Gunn stuff, with like him supposedly getting rid of all the main cast. Like why? Why would he even do that? Like, does that make any sense? You're trying to
yes,
it makes sense. It does.
They're gonna do it eventually. I mean, the thing that I always say is like with these franchises, these actors sign on for a certain amount of movies and then they get recasted because they reboot the whole thing. So I mean, they were going to not last that long anyways. They probably had a few more movies left in them. And then they were going to reboot either way. I think even Matt said in the beginning, like, with this merger and everything, they might, like we said, they might go in that direction anyway. And now we're hearing, they are. So why is anyone surprised?
Well, I think before y'all interrupted, I was going to say, well, it could make sense, but...
Oh, okay.
But what I'm saying is, like, there's a lot of Lobo rumors going around. It's like, and all that stuff. I'm like, well, James Gunn typically likes to go with the side characters and kind of the unknowns, I guess, or kind of the ones that aren't touched upon. But like my thing is, like, I was hoping to potentially see what he could do with the main characters like Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman. Even Zaslav said, like, what is it, like a couple months ago about the Trinity being, a big part of DC, but
that was like, I think the very first thing that he ever said. Like, he talked about that, like, back when they announced
separate the art from the artist, guys. The Trinity is, the Trinity is Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, not Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot, and Ben Affleck. Okay, that's not the Trinity. The Trinity are the three main DC characters, and everybody gets that shit mixed up. I think it took a lot of balls. If this is all going to come to fruition, I think it took a lot of balls for James Gunn to do this. I'm impressed with his stance on it. And I think DC needed a reboot because it was nothing but fucking debris. When's the last time you guys saw a really good DC movie?
The other thing is
Black Adam.
The Batman? The Batman, yeah, true. But that's not DCEU. That's just DC.
Shut up, Saggy. God.
Like, we were going to get a reboot with the Flash after that.
Saggy is Saggy, okay?
Saggy she was just like getting off to Pierce Brosnan.
Guys, that's Matt Reeves, though. That's not the same thing. You guys know that's not the same thing. And
I just said Black Adam because I know it was not true. And
no. Well, here, okay. So it's like, look, again, like there are elements of Black Adam that I quite enjoyed. As I've said, I liked the cinematography quite a bit. I enjoyed even the kid as an actor until that like last major scene he was in. There's a lot about that movie that was the fact that the movie said the superhero industrial complex. I was like, okay, like there's elements of it that I thought they got real right, and there's elements that I thought they got real wrong, and it's just what it is. But the other movies, again, like the lack of unit cohesion is currently the biggest problem, and that's what they have to fix. And so it's like you can either go and like put a bullet over or a Band-Aid over a bullet hole, or you can just amputate the entire fucking arm, right? And you got to do some shit like that. Like, and that's kind of where we are, which is going to be the big topic today, because as we're sitting there.
Absolutely. I agree with you. You cannot cure cancer with Tylenol,
Yeah. You got to chemo that shit, right? You got to chemo that shit.
It was wreckage. And I know, is it the Watcher that's saying it? Someone's saying, and I know they haven't really confirmed it yet, but they have announced that there is no Wonder Woman 3. Patty Jenkins is off. She's gone. That's it. They just buried her pretty much. And Gal Gadot pretty much put out a farewell letter to Wonder Woman yesterday. So maybe it's not completely confirmed, but you can see why people are thinking that.
Yeah. And don't worry, Saggy, we'll get to that. So yeah, that's the thing here is you're right, Chris. That was a really weird post from Gal yesterday. It felt very rushed looking at the punctuation and how it all came together. It wasn't professional. And so you can tell that it was done very quickly. Linda Carter came on in and was like running defense real quick, like you'll always be my sister sort of thing. Cause the two bonded and that's great. And I love Linda Carter, but the Wonder Woman 84 was just bad. And so as a result of that movie kind of failing, remember Rogue Squadron is supposed to be coming out a year from now. It's gone.
Yeah, and I was actually bummed about that one.
The Cleopatra movie, Patty Jenkins is not directing it. She is just producing it. And Carly Skoglund, who did Falcon and Winter Soldier. She's directing that.
And apparently the script is shit.
Like for Wonder Woman 3 or
that
for
is a good question, Donovan. Matt, Cleopatra. What do you think that is, guys? I really would like
what is going okay, well, all right. So
what is it with Patty? Because Patty's not bad at her job. She's good at it. She had one little mess up with Wonder Woman 84, okay? But she's a good director, man.
Well, but look at what she's directed. She did Monster, which was really good. And that was a long time ago. She did some TV. And then she got brought on to go and do Wonder Woman. And again, this is a hot take. But I'm sorry, you cannot look at the quality between Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 84 and think this is the same person directing.
No, it does.
You just can't.
But everybody's like, oh, that's because Zach was with her on the first one. And maybe that's true.
I think Zach had a much more controlling hand in the first movie. Now, I'm not saying he stealth directed it.
It's not just Zach. It was because Alan Heinberg.
The writer?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the writer.
Heinberg. Well, I'm not talking about the script. I mean, the script for the first one was way better. It was compelling. The second movie was just like, we're going to completely just misuse Maxwell Lord, even though Pedro Pascal is great, and it's like, and by the way, there's no consequences for Pedro Pascal at the end of the fucking movie because he got what he ultimately wanted, which was his son. So he still walked away after almost destroying the entire world. Completely. And by the way, he gets he makes himself president, and then he goes to that secret island at the end, and then he ends up getting a ride back to DC on Marine One, and this guy's supposedly the president or whatever, or someone who's in power, and they just leave him, and then magically his kid, who's just been wandering through DC, going, Papa, where are you, Papa? Just randomly exits the forest at the same time, and you're like, what? And then they hug, they embrace, and then there's nothing left. They never mention him again. That movie just, I think, did more damage to like Wonder Woman's character than Justice League did to Superman.
Inconsistencies in her character timeline as well. Like canon wise, it ruined it. Like, it was just terrible.
It's not sexism, RJ. It's not sexism. Because when Wonder Woman 1 did well, she was able to negotiate for a much higher payday and complete control over Wonder Woman 84. So she was able to get that. And that might have been sexism because they maybe did it because she's a woman. I don't know. But her failing on this end, that's how Hollywood is. Even fucking, look at Dan and Dave were going to do Star Wars after finishing Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones season 8 comes along. People largely had issues with it. I think more enjoyed it than not. But the online backlash was bad. And then Dan and Dave were off the project. And then what else has happened? That's happened with other people as well with Star Wars. They've had a bad run with something else, and their movie gets taken away. Notice how Thor: Love and Thunder.
Wait, who did Dark World?
Alan Taylor.
Alan Taylor had a bad run, and he was not Ragnarok.
Listen,
and then Thor: Love and Thunder. Thor: Love and Thunder.
Supposed to do Ragnarok.
Well, here's the Thor: Love and Thunder got kind of panned by some people, and now Taika's Star Wars movie is like nowhere to be seen.
How about this, RJ? RJ, how about this? RJ, you better stop, or we're gonna tell people the real reason why you had throat surgery.
So he had a strap on.
No one is saying that she shouldn't be, that she's blacklisted. I don't believe she's blacklisted, but the industry right now is so absolutely fickle that if you fuck up, like if you fuck up a high profile project, there's going to be years of recovery. No one's going to want to trust you with something right away.
You're only as good as your last project.
And that's not good. Yeah. Like the thing is though, it's like, again, it's like the story of Wonder Woman 84 was not great, but also the directing was lackluster. It was uninspired, and there was elements of it that were just bad.
It was, like,
hold on. She's an Oscar-winning director 20 years ago. Patty Jenkins. Patty Jenkins for Monster.
Get an Oscar for?
I don't forget what did Monster win?
I think it got Best Movie.
Did it get Best Movie?
I think it did. Or no, Best Actress for sure with Charlize. Maybe it didn't get Best Movie. I think it got.
Let's see.
Probably Best Actor, maybe Best Effects or something like that.
Let's see. Hold on here.
Academy Award for Best Actress and a Lead.
Oh yeah, so it just won. So she's an Academy Award winning.
No, it's just Best Actress.
There's just Best Actress for Charlize. Yeah. Now she might have been Academy, nominated, right? Yeah. I mean, it did win. It for Monster. Monster did win a fair amount of.
It's a great movie. It's a
great
movie.
That's what I said. It did make a lot.
But it's Charlize Theron who won. She won the Edgar Allan Poe Award for Best Motion Picture Screenplay.
No, she didn't.
According to she was nominated. Sorry, she was nominated. And then GLAAD Media Awards nominated. She did win for Best First Feature from the Independent Spirit Awards. And she did win for the Iowa Film Critics Awards.
Oh, that's right. Return of the King did sweep the Oscars that year.
Right. Yeah. That was it. So she's not an Oscar-winning director. So debunked. Anthony. Debunked. Busted.
Fake news.
Wet blanket. That's Anthony's nickname on here is Wet Blanket. But it's just look again. The first Wonder Woman and the second Wonder Woman are just like tonally they're so different. So it's like
because Patty Jenkins was trying to recreate Richard Donner.
And I think that was, and again, like that's the problem. They tried that with Superman Returns, right? And nobody wanted it. And then here's this is what I'm fucking talking about, guys. This is what I've been fucking saying for years now. Like, I love the Donner movies, all right? 1 and 2. I love them. But that Superman is kind of boring. All right. He's very much affixed in that time, the late 70s and 80s. Like that's where he's at. Great. But as we grow older, I think as a society, we want different things. The people that want to hold on to this, like Boy Scout Superman are, they grow up a little bit. All right. Like, you know what? Maybe back away from your childhood a bit more and fucking have a wider scope of the world. That's my take on it, at least.
That's a hot take for me too. That's why I've never been a Superman guy. I've never been a Superman guy.
I liked Cavill's performance. And if Cavill wanted to get to that Boy Scout part, probably because that's what he grew up with. That's what he wants to emulate. Don't fucking emulate that. And I think that's the one thing Zach really nailed was like, don't emulate the past, build towards it, build towards something new. The problem though, is that the executives and the power that be over there at Warner's got real freaked out when things didn't really go the right way. And instead of just, powering through and kind of, letting the audience catch up to it instead of expecting massive results right off the bat. You know what it reminds me of? The executives at Warner Brothers remind me of those fucking little idiot YouTube kids that don't get like 1 million views right away and then just blame everybody else but themselves instead of trying to, and they quit right away and go, it was everyone. It's this fucking platform hates me. You know what I mean? Like instead of just working on building up content, like that's what it boils down to.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta grind.
And they're right. So, I mean, again, like Superman Returns was so disliked. It took them another fucking 7 years to get Man of Steel off the ground. And it was so vastly different because between Man of Steel or before Superman Returns and after, you had Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises. And those were popular enough with Nolan that they were like, okay, we need to go this route. And that's what they did. And then they're, they're kind of going back. So, all right. Oh, there's a member chat. What's the member chat say? Can any of you guys, I got to bring up the page here. Sorry. I thought I had it up. My bad. I'm just saying that when it comes to this stuff, they've had over a decade. They've had just a lot of problems with everything. They've consistently just made very poor choices, and as a result of that,
you know what's funny is that
nobody's saying make him evil, Watcher. Nobody's saying that. But I was never a Superman guy until Man of Steel, and do you know why? Because they finally humanized Superman as a person. That's why I became a Superman fan after Zack Snyder. Those early ones, it was too Boy Scout, it was too cut and dry, it was too family friendly. We're not saying make Superman evil, but that he would grow out of that Boy Scout stage is eventually,
Hold up, I got breaking news.
What?
So, well, it's not related to this, but you guys did mention game.
Let's talk about it. No. I saw your post in the. We're not on that yet. Hold that on until later
500 pages left until George R. R. Martin finishes The Winds of Winter. I feel like that's important. 500. Well, I mean, he says he tries to get about 7 to 8 pages done a day, so he probably damn near is gonna be a couple of more years.
Okay, real quick here. So what we're gonna do, because I know Jimbo's got to get. Also, there was the member chat which I just saw from Anthony Beltry. Thank you, Anthony. It says Patty getting rid of Alan Heinberg was stupid. Well, she chose Jeff Johns because Jeff Johns is like a renowned writer, and he was also in charge of the studio when they were developing it. And I think that's just because remember, Jeff Johns worked with Ben Affleck on Ben Affleck's script as well. And Affleck's script was reportedly really good. So whatever happened, I think Patty Jenkins changed some shit with that script. Maybe during production or something, maybe because remember it was Jeff Johns was in the process, had gotten booted out of running the company in the beginning of 2018. They went into production in June 2018 on Wonder Woman 84. So the script was probably still being in development at the core story, but maybe Patty had to fill the gaps. Because remember, when Patty did The Monster, she adapted a book. When Dan and Dave Game of Thrones, they adapted a book, right? But when they got into their kind of more original takes on these particular stories, things have kind of fallen apart. Some people can adapt shit real well.
Christina Ricci's character was the only one that was really based off of an actual character from the book.
I don't know. To tell you, I haven't looked into that, and I haven't watched the movie in a long time, nor I haven't done my research on it. But I'm saying I believe it was based on a book, I think.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. And then she did that other one, like that mini series for TBS a couple years ago that Jodie's Corner was in. And that was an adaptation of another book as well. So it's like some people can just do adaptations real well and shit. I think Patty Jenkins should probably go to do some smaller movies, rebuild her cred, and then go from there. It's like Colin Trevorrow. Remember, he did Jurassic, he did Safety's Not Guaranteed, which is a great film, right? Then he gets brought on to go do Jurassic World, that, $2 billion movie or whatever, or 1.6 billion, I think. Massive hit. He gets a blank check to do with the Book of Henry, which famously bombs. And then he gets pulled off of Star Wars Episode 9, and then goes right back to fucking Jurassic World and pulls in like another $1 billion movie during a pandemic. So, which I still haven't seen Jurassic World Dominion yet. And
I heard it's pretty bad.
It's one of those things. So before we get into the article, because I know there's that. Also, Ryan did leave a super chat asking, did I see how it should have ended for Black Adam? I haven't. We'll have to check that out at some time. The how it should have ended people are real copyright snobs. So we'll have to watch that later on, maybe like in an after dark stream, But there was the video clip here I was sent of Skywalker crying.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this yet, so this is
yay. Let's slash.
So I know Jimbo's got to go. So we're going to check this out and then laugh at some people crying over this. And then we're going to get into the article because that's how this always goes.
Ben Affleck got more pull than James Gunn got pulled, bro. He's already signed on. James Gunn probably walk in that room with Ben Affleck and Jason Momoa, and they probably tell him to shut the fuck up and get out and shut the door on your way out. He don't got that much pull, bro. He only got pulled compared to us, But Ben Affleck, bro, come on, bro. You're gonna tell Ben Affleck, "Oh, we're not gonna do your Batman." Ben Affleck knew we're gonna do my Batman on his way to sign the papers, bro. You know, while he's in his limo, he knew I'm gonna get my Batman out. That's it. You know,
facts, bro.
It's drama, bro. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I fell for it, and like I said, I worked for years with these fuckers, bro, trying to act like I'm convincing them, but they already knew what they're gonna do, bro. They already gonna do it. Every one of the Snyder Cut movies, the Snyderverse, is gonna come out, and it's gonna be bigger and better. But than what we ever imagined. They just want us to play around with them and engage them online, because that is how they're doing promo these days. It's very easy if we really pay attention. They said the fucking Snyder Cut didn't even exist, bro. Oh, they said that shit for 2 years, bro. Oh, what are y'all talking about? You know? And then Zack Snyder showed the reels of it, and then they were like, "Oh, well, maybe it exists." But bitch, y'all knew it existed. Y'all were lying the whole time, bro.
Bruh, Zach was dropping pictures for years of shit that we didn't get in the other movie, and they sitting there the whole time saying this shit didn't exist.
Right, this shit don't exist. This shit don't exist. You know, and bro, they're just teasing us for engagement. That's just it's simple, man. I don't know, bro. It's like and like I said, I'm not trying to talk nobody off the ledge, or I'm not trying to say, hey, don't fight for what you want. But bro, you gotta understand, these people are marketing geniuses. We're just niggas online, bro.
Oh my god.
This
what kind of way to end that clip?
This is the cool table, by the way, guys. This is the cool table.
There's a lot to unpack there. First of all, did they really just start that off by saying that the actors have more pull than the directors that direct these movies and the production companies? Like the actors could just come and be like, "Nah, I'm doing this," despite the fact I have a contract and I'm going to tell you. Yeah, so basically what they're saying is these actors don't have contracts, which is what the people who employ them get to tell them what they're doing. It's not the other way around. You don't go into work and say, "So boss, oh, you want me to sweep the floor today? Well, guess what? I'm not sweeping the floor. I'm going to do something else." And your boss could be like, "Well, yeah, you could do something else. You can go right the fuck home." like what?
Be like, "You want me to clean the floors? I'm going to clean the roof." It's like,
right? You want me to clean the floors instead? I'm going to sit here, collect a paycheck, and eat my lunch early. Like, what? Like, no, the actors can't just go in and be like, "Yo," so Ben Affleck walks in. "So listen, you making another Batman movie, right?
What do you mean? This." I literally did that Monday. I went in, I got a flight to obviously where the fuck their headquarters is, and I did that. I made demands like, "Yo, you better give me some good shit, otherwise I will shit on your desk." That's pretty much what I did.
I just feel like they well, keep in mind, like you know, Mr. West Ashley is just insane. He's just all that is just copium right there. Like Ben Affleck's gonna say, "Fucking do this," whatever. Ben Affleck came on in to do the cameo for Aquaman 2 as a fucking favor, right? Like a 1-day on-set favor, you know. And then, according to the test screenings that came out, the reports, and again, I don't want to give like, you know, credence to like a lot of rumors and scoops and shit, but like they're saying that wasn't even in the movie, is what the report going around is now. So what that means is we don't fucking know what's going on. They don't know what's going on, and the only people that do know what's going on are the ones that are in charge and the ones that are getting ready to start like laying out their groundwork very soon. And we're just getting the first shots of that right now. But what is this here, Caden? What is this you want to show?
Oh, this is his actual like complete breakdown, like breakout.
Is this from today?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
Skywalker joins, and he'll be like right here, and he'll be like going on a whole rant.
Right, and that's the point. And that's what we was trying to avoid. That's what the Snyder fans was trying to avoid. You understand? At the end of the day, Hamada don't want anything connected. That's why they put Superman in the blue suit.
Hamada's gone,
right?
Damien.
It was
gone.
yeah, man.
Hamada's gone, man.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, What I'm saying is, he was there right up to the last day. Right? He was there up to the last day of Black Adam. Right? So at the end of the day, I'm just sure I'm not.
When the Batman came out, I saw a lot of Snyderverse fans support that movie, and that movie took away from Ben Affleck's Batman movie. He even took the title. Where was that energy? I mean, you can't have it both ways. I'm sorry. You can't have it both ways. You didn't watch it? I didn't watch it either. It didn't get one red cent from me.
But you know what? You know what the Batman proved to me?
No.
The Batman isn't part of the DCEU, correct? So all of this controversy is not attached to it. And what's the one thing that WB has banked on for more than 2 decades? Batman. Fucking sells. And like I said, to me, between that and looking at the Black Adam box office, you know what I'm saying? That proves to me, and not just Black Adam, the movies that have came before.
Wait, how?
It's that people are sick of the bullshit within the DCEU.
Yeah, and you know what?
Exactly.
Like you said, Batman sells, so now they're gonna whoever Batman's gonna be, whoever's gonna play him, they're gonna put him in everything. Because the non-Batman movie.
I just want to. I just want to say, man, if more people put this level of energy to, real world problems, maybe there wouldn't be this much real world problems. I'm just saying. I just had to say that, man.
People care more about fucking movies and shit and put more passion in that than fucking their jobs.
Right? Like kids are starving in the world, but fuck them kids. We're mad about DC's future.
I definitely want
the Batman. All right,
because I think here's the thing: we might have a lot of people watching who may not know who these guys are. So, because we have honestly a lot more than usual tonight. So, by the way, hi everyone, thank you. Hi. Join the Discord. I just pinned the fucking comments. God damn it. So if there's a freak out on Syl is a liar, known liar, been exposed multiple times. Him and Mikey Sutton outright just make shit up at this point, lie to people about it, my opinion. And they but they have to cope to keep the money coming in with the audience.
They also steal other people's stuff and put it behind a paywall.
That was pretty funny, yeah. Production Weekly says, bye, Felicia. So
yeah, they steal content.
Oh, here it is.
All right. Yeah, okay. I want to,
It's a man that lives at the top of a fucking skyscraper in Long Beach. All right? So somebody tried to say, hey, if Black Adam bombs, do you guys think that this is going to be a good look for Zack Snyder's movies? Right? And for the Snyderverse as a whole. I said that shit months ago. Right? And now everybody want to come out here and act like, no, they don't have nothing to do with this. The Rock told y'all, look, and I'm going to get on James Gunn in 1 second, but I'm going to talk to my compadres first, right? The same people that was sitting there trying to tell me, no, it don't matter if we boycott a movie with Henry Cavill in it, right? Yeah. It don't matter if we boycott a movie that's openly supporting Zack Snyder.
Hold on, Damien. Right? Hold on, Damien.
It don't matter. Right? This dude, the writing been on the wall. Right? That Hamada was on his way out. They tried their best to turn around and retool this movie. Y'all told me this shit should flop. Let's send a message. Right? What message you think this fucking sent?
It's Damien's fault.
No. This is a collective. This is a collective.
Yeah. I feel you.
I sat there and
Skywalker's speaking facts.
I told y'all. I said, this shit not gonna be a good look, and they gonna use it against us. Everybody sitting there saying no. Right? It don't matter. Let's boycott. Let's send a message to them, right? We don't want them Hamada burgers. Motherfucker, he brought Henry Cavill back. Right? And oh my good Lord, James Gunn, the Trojan horse has revealed himself. I told y'all.
Sky, side note. Sky, I know you heated, Sky. Side note, the article revealed that Luca and Pam Abdi wanted to do one more Zack Snyder Justice League film until Gunn.
Man, who is this dude?
Just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it out there, bro.
Who is this dude?
They did they though?
I haven't read the article yet all the way through, which we'll get to next. So we'll get to that next. Yeah. But
and I had a dream that all young boys and all young girls will enjoy Zack Snyder's verse.
Can someone just honest, call in?
I don't have a lot of animosity towards people, but I genuinely, I'm gonna tell you right now, that Skywalker dude, he's all bark. He's called us out so many times. He's tried to bully RJ for not going on cam.
Dude's a
He's
bitch.
called me out to debates and acted like I wasn't in his chat. I just want to say, bro, nobody gives a fuck that you live in a skyscraper in Long Beach, and I fucking can't stand you, and you're a straight up bitch. That dude is a fucking bitch, bro, and that is all acting right there.
Have you ever been to Long Beach?
I've been through it.
It's like parts of it are okay, but like parts of it suck. You know what I mean? Like if he's living in like the downtown by the convention center area at a skyscraper, there's no skyscrapers.
I don't think he's all. I don't really. I honestly don't think he's all there, guys.
By the way,
I really
guys,
do think he's messed
don't
up.
forget. Wait, don't forget, guys. If you don't like his friend Sil Abdul, you are a racist.
Yeah, he tried that one on everybody.
But did you guys notice though? Because Zachary says when he's like the Trojan horse has revealed himself, Zod is all like, "What? I've been trying to tell you guys."
That's their conspiracy.
I know
shit.
that's their
Did you see the one where you know how they did the Bob Chapek thing and then the Bob Iger thing, and Bob Chapek was supposed to be like, oh, he's just a fall guy for the pandemic because Disney's not going to do good, blah, blah, blah. They're trying to say that about James Gunn now. That's their theory. Oh, he's a plant. He's going to fuck up DC on purpose so Zach can come back. Shut the fuck up.
Guys,
you are fucking stupid.
If I yell loud enough, do you understand? You believe how angry I am? Yeah, he invited.
Whose man is this?
Every time they take an L, they double down, triple down, quadruple down. They have
bitch
made
from
a
Boston. That bitch from Boston, saggy melons, droopy melons. Ooh.
I love my mods, geeks. My mods are great. I mod only the finest people. So thank you. No, I really do appreciate my mods. My mods are good people. Thank you.
I wouldn't know. I was demodded.
You were demodded because you were not a good person.
That guy was being like extra.
You were muting like multiple people.
I know. I muted one person. I remember that night because I timed him out multiple times because he was being a sexist piece of shit in your chat.
But I will say this, and this is 100% true, guys. I had someone who spent some serious coin on this channel that I had to get rid of because he was a very sexist asshole to Saggy. That one guy, you know who I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
The one guy who was sending her emails, berating her and like calling her all sorts of names. Literally, and we got rid of him. So, I might have demodded you for kind of being a punk ass, but I still got your back, girl.
No, I know, but that guy was being mad sexist.
He was that was fucked up shit. Like I did nothing wrong. You did no. If Saggy's done a lot wrong, but this was one of those things where he was like, he just hated her. Honestly, he hated her because I think he had a thing for her.
No, he hated me because he asked me if I had a thing for a specific race that he was, and I said yes, but then I didn't get back to him in a long enough time when he emailed, and my next message I got was like that I was a white worshipping slut, like literally what he called me, a white worshipping slut, and a whore. And I was like, okay.
Well, you should have said, it doesn't matter what skin tone you are, cum all looks the same.
I mean, cum is also white, so I don't know.
Cum is white. You could say cum is white. Yeah.
Yeah, I got called a white worshipping slut because I did not respond to it.
I'm just saying, I don't like, that's like, come on, like this guy doesn't know you. You can't, like, that's fucked up, So it's like, anyway, lots of fucked up people. There's a lot of.
I'm one of them. I'm a fucked up people because I wouldn't have had that same response. If I was Saggy, I would have been like, yeah, I kind of envy you. Let's meet up. And then when he showed up, I'd have bricked him in his fucking head. I'm different. I'm different.
I don't hate the viewer. I love everyone that watches. I just hate morons. You know what? And you time and time again, you kind of prove yourself like that watcher. You keep coming back. I'm just saying, imagine if it was green.
Oh God, Anthony.
Anthony, did you ever see, this is true, did you ever see last year when Scarlett Johansson won the MTV Movie Award, like Best Actress or whatever, or she won an award, And as she's accepting the award, she was at home, and Colin Jost came behind her and poured slime on her. And I'm like, somebody's going to freaking chroma that out to be white. And lo and behold, within like 5 minutes, there was just like, cum videos being sent around of like Scarlett Johansson just getting skeeted on. Because of that.
That's a Midwest word. You can't have that. What are you doing?
What you talking about? I took that from Soulja Boy. All right, like, y'all skeet.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all skeet.
God
damn.
I would have put a picture of her. I would have put a picture of her with all that cum on her, and the caption would have said, "First day after No Nut November."
Oh my God.
Oh my God, y'all broke Jarbo. Break him more.
Oh, wasn't it the
Jarbo's
Kids'
not-
Choice Awards? It was. Which
Oh,
makes it even
no.
worse.
Oh my God.
Is there a clip of that? Find that clip.
Of her. Just do Scarlett Johansson green slime. Just look that up. You'll find it.
That sounds so dirty.
It is. D. Brando for $2. Thank you.
MTV Awards.
Disney hiring Snyder would be funny to see cope. I don't think he would go to Disney, from my honest opinion. Like, there's, maybe under Iger, because Iger gives, creative control, but they're not really looking, I think, at this point for something for Zach's particular style, because the only movie that he's made, he did PG-13 BVS, PG-13 Man of Steel, although there was the R-rated cuts of BVS and Justice League. But like, really, the only family-friendly movie he's kind of done specifically was the Guardians of Ga'Hoole, and even that's a dark as fuck kids movie, And I like Guardians of Ga'Hoole, but it was dark as fuck movie. Oh no, Sucker Punch was also rated PG-13. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for that.
Sucker Punch, because I was
we can talk about.
Because I love
Punch.
it, and everybody gets mad at me because I say I love that.
I like.
Well, have you? I haven't seen the extended cut, so I saw it theatrically at the theater where they premiered the movie, in the village in like the west whatever it's called.
Yeah, we went opening. We went opening weekend too. Me and my friends.
Oh, it was Little John. Little John gave a skeet. Soldier Boy was Superman Dead Ho. I got him wrong. My bad, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm a 40-year-old.
I wasn't listening. I would have caught that.
I'm a 40-year-old boomer white guy who grew up listening to rap in the suburbs. Okay,
Let's
fucking. That's my bad. That's my bad. I got confused. Either way, though, both are references to come.
First of all, Superman Now Ho was not a reference to come.
Yes, it was.
No, it's not.
I thought that was like come on her back and like slap a cape on it.
What the hell? Oh my God.
Oh my God, I heard that so wrong then.
Oh my God.
What is okay? Hold on.
It's changed now.
Has it changed now? I don't know. Maybe I was just explained to I was explained to it wrong back in the day. I hear things wrong. What can I say? I don't have a cultural reference point. So
I mean,
what is it?
To put a bitch in her place.
Is that what it means?
I mean, it's that. Let's see. Hold on.
I thought it was a cum reference.
Fucking boomer.
It's way better.
Wait. No. Here's a sexual reference. So when you ejaculate on a girl's back, then put a blanket on her. So when she stands up, the blanket sticks, therefore making her look like she has a cape.
That's what I fucking said. It's fucking cum.
I mean, there's more to than just the cum. It's about the cape. As well.
It's about the coming on her back. I don't fuck around when it comes to cum.
Oh, I bet you don't, buddy.
God.
I bet you don't.
Spider-Man that.
Oh my God. Oh.
Someone's so gonna clip that.
Jeez. Someone please clip that. Please clip that.
He said that with.
He said that
Jarbo doesn't mess around when it comes to cum.
Right. He said it so sincere and with so much passion in his voice, dude. Like, he was angry that we dare question his knowledge about semen, bro. Like, he was insulted that we dare question his knowledge about cum, bro. Like, holy crap.
Don't you dare question me about fucking cum. I know everything.
I am the cum master.
Whose woman is this? Whose woman is this questioning my stuff? Huh?
Well, Saggy, to be fair, do you know how much of that stuff comes out of our bodies in our lifetime?
Oh my God. Oh my God!
Hold on.
Know.
Here's someone that might know.
Oh yeah, I found this clip.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Of 10 years of work and one of the greatest.
And the face she's making
imagine
literally
that.
looks like.
Oh God.
Hold on.
It's lagging out too damn hard.
Oh my!
Someone chroma'd that to white.
Oh my!
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Just take out the bowl.
Matt knows all about this. He is clearly the master of gooey consistency liquid.
I'm just saying. It
Heroin?
happens. So, but anyway, for those of you who are new to Hollywood After Dark, this is where things go. This is where things go. Often.
This is where things come.
Yeah. Some people.
RJ said, "I know what I'm doing tonight."
Oh my!
RJ, no!
We don't get a lot of dirty jokes from RJ. That's an impressive one. That was funny.
RJ.
RJ's gonna hit a lick, Maddie. He's gonna hit a few of them.
Did you not see his comments earlier? He was basically like, Saggy, you gonna come take care of me? Hey, Saggy, you want to come make me feel better? I'm like, RJ, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm on pain meds. Okay, sounds about
Maddie,
right.
it has officially become the Jizz Network.
And we're losing viewers left and right, but it's fucking fun. Prudes, all of you. You bunch of prudes. No, anyway, I know we're
Jesus.
We should get back on topic. So all right here. So this is the big article of today. we try to go for laughs here on Hollywood After Dark. Okay. So if you're enjoying your time here, welcome to the party and hit the like. Well, I mean, people are still here. So that's fine. Anyway, so Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman 3 not moving forward as DC movies hit turning point. I mean, the truth of the matter, it's been 2 years and there's been no movement. So it was kind of probably going to happen. So saying here that call it DC Rebirth or Genesis, maybe call it Identity Crisis or Flashpoint. These titles of past DC Comics events series aptly describe the state of Warner Brothers DC movies, which are on the cusp of new era, but not before a potentially messy transition period. A cleaning of the slate is common when a new executive team is put into place to run a studio or division, but there is likely little precedent for the amount of Clorox James Gunn and Peter Safran could spray as they prepare to launch DC Studios and guide superhero movies for the next half decade and beyond. The duo in recent days flew back to Los Angeles from the snowy city of Aspen, where they were huddled in deep planning. And now, like holy figures coming down from the mountaintop, have sets of commandments or a DC Bible in hand, or at least a working group.
Pause. This is starting to read like a friggin' erotic fan fiction, and I'm feeling very uncomfortable.
It's not doing, I mean, like, here's the thing. All I thought about this was they were huddled together in Aspen, Colorado. All right. Which means all the tweeting that James Gunn has done over the last couple weeks, you know, where he's out there like debunking rumors and like talking crap about scoopers and stuff, has all been done while he's working with Peter Safran. So like that makes me really wonder, like, well, like, is he doing it just on breaks, or like are they actively looking through social media to see what fans are talking about?
I mean, that week was Thanksgiving break, so I'm sure they're probably like, let's take a week break. And then so it's like, and then all this stuff starts happening. He's like, you know what? Time to get into my usual spot on Twitter and debunking stuff.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to where I feel comfortable, pissing off fanboys on social media. Anyway, Gunn and Safran are expected to meet next week with David Zaslav, the Warner Brothers Discovery CEO, who is radically reshaping the media company and who hired the duo in October to lead the newly launched film and TV division. The pair will unveil to Zaslav a plan that is expected to lay out their vision, although much of the plan, which insiders paint as still a work in progress and one that is yet to be approved, is being kept in the Batcave. Details of several possible paths forward are trickling out, and at least one path not being taken has also been revealed. Multiple sources tell The Hollywood Reporter that Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman 3 is not moving forward and is considered dead in its current incarnation. Sources say that Jenkins recently submitted her treatment, co-written with Jeff Johns, and that Gunn and Safran, as well as Warner Brothers Pictures co-chairs and co-CEOs Mike DeLuca and Pamela Abdy, broke the news to the filmmaker, telling her the project as it stood did not fit with the new, did not fit in with the new, it's still unfolding plans. Jenkins, we all know, did the last couple movies, but no decisions have been made about the next steps. So obviously, I mean, they're not saying Gal is fired, but it definitely felt like yesterday's post on social media was kind of like a goodbye.
Yeah, a goodbye.
You know, like, but maybe they're just
share her next chapter with y'all. Maybe saying, can't wait to share, like, my bad news, but the good news for her.
Well, maybe it's either good news for the character, because I said Linda Carter came out and was like defending her. So Linda Carter would have known what's going on because she was being written into the third movie. What I don't understand.
And I think even like the Amazon series on HBO Max was supposed to be about her character.
Oh, the Themyscira series or whatever?
Yeah.
Is that even going forward still?
No.
Okay. So, and then also James Gunn liked the post on Instagram. I did hear about that, Donovan. Thank you. But yeah, if James Gunn was out there, you know, I think they looked at like Wonder Woman 3 or 2 and they're like, where do they go after this? It's so, you know, whatever. And then, you know, but I always heard like the rumor was that Wonder Woman 3 was going to take place after the Snyder Cut in order to like kind of put it in current times. But maybe Patty Jenkins and Jeff Johns just couldn't crack that nut. You know what I mean? And that does happen. But they did turn in a draft, and if it's just not in line with where they want to go, which also makes a lot of sense. So it says here, and while costs are not a factor, insiders say that DC Studios will not have any overburdensome financial restrictions. The studio could end up saving tens of millions of dollars by not making the third installment. Well, I mean, like, if they don't have any overburdensome financial restrictions, then why are they worried about the cost of making Wonder Woman 3? Because they're broke.
Question:
you know?
Are we talking about Gal Gadot's tweet that she posted?
Yeah,
on the
yesterday.
6th?
Yeah.
Well, she has something that was posted on the was it yesterday? Oh well,
yeah.
I'm in different time zones. So like where she says, "I can't wait to share her next chapter with you."
Yeah.
That doesn't feel like a goodbye. She said, "I can't wait to share her next chapter," meaning Wonder Woman's next chapter. So it sounds to me like she's saying
she
that.
Doesn't say our next chapter.
Yeah,
I think she means me as an actress. That's what I think she means.
No, she literally says, and I'll quote it. "A few years ago, it was announced I was going to play Wonder Woman. I've been so grateful for the opportunity to play such an incredible, iconic character. And more than anything, I'm grateful for you, the fans. Can't wait to share her next chapter with you." So she's saying, I can't wait to share Wonder Woman's next chapter with you. If she was not playing Wonder Woman, I don't think she would end it with "can't wait to share her next chapter with you," meaning she's still doing the role and that she's still going to there is going to be plans for her character as Wonder Woman in the future. Because if she wasn't playing,
okay,
it's kind of self-explanatory there. Because like I said,
she still has the third movie on her contract, and so it's like, if they don't, you know, it all depends. I think, look, to be honest with you, Sagi, I think a lot of it depends on her cameo in Shazam 2 and how that's received.
Yes, that's what me and Matt have been saying. It feels like she's campaigning, she's petitioning to stay as Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I think
she's
if they fired Patty,
I think she's talking about her little bitty part in Shazam, and then she's done. I think she's done. I really think Gunn's axing all of them, and I don't really consider it firing them. I
don't think that. I think that if Gal Gadot's still willing, I don't think they're gonna axe her just yet. I think that they will keep her around for a bit to play the role. I don't think that she's out right now. And I also don't think.
Here's the thing with that though, right? Is like, I do think whatever they're going to do with Wonder Woman is a ways away, because she's got Cleopatra that still has, that's over at Paramount, I think, right? Mm-hmm. And there's that. And then she's also got Red Notice 2 and 3, which I don't think they filmed that yet. I don't think Red Notice 2 and 3 have filmed yet. But I'm assuming, knowing Netflix is, they're going to try to probably do them back to back, and they're probably going to try to get them in before they start filming Deadpool, right? At least get one of them done before Deadpool starts filming, or maybe right after. I don't know. But then she's also got there's a Heart of Stone coming out, and if that does well, they're clearly going to Netflix is probably going to want to give her a franchise.
Daniel Martin, can I answer his question real quick? I think it does, Daniel Martin, because Cavill used that as leverage because they wanted him to do the cameo in Shazam and all that, and he still had that one movie on his contract. So I think a cameo does count as the end of your contract if it's in that third movie.
I think so as well. Again, I thank God Max is in here. Because it would just be that you don't know over and over and over again.
Over and over.
Broken fucking record.
You don't know.
Okay, Donovan says Red Notice 2 and shut up, Jimbo. God damn it. Red Notice 2 and 3 are filming early next year, okay, according to Donovan. All right. So there's like and of course the Argyle comment. Yes, I know you want Argyle coverage. There's nothing really new on Argyle right now, but as soon as there is, I'll talk about it.
Why are you gatekeeping Argyle?
No. He's not gatekeeping Argyle. He's asking me to like dive into Argyle.
No. I'm saying, but you. Why don't you give us the news?
So anyway, I don't know if she's going. I kind of feel like she's kind of petitioning. Like it could go either way, essentially.
Yeah, and just to clarify, I do think Gunn needs to, strip down DC and rebuild it. But I don't want to lose Gal. She's my Wonder Woman now.
Bro,
you know what I mean? I want her to stay.
Perfect. She's so good at it.
I like her as Wonder Woman too, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think that she's like I said, that message in my interpretation is not saying that she's done or a goodbye letter. It's more just like saying, hey, I'm still going to be playing this role. I might not be doing a whole movie right now, but she's still sticking with that role for now. So maybe, like I said, it could just be a bunch of cameos, or maybe, like I said, another Justice League film. But I don't think she's going anytime soon until that's all squared away. So I don't think she's going anywhere.
Matt, do you know that when they announced her for Batman versus Superman, I had only ever seen her in Fast and Furious, and I put out a video saying, I think I have 5 better choices for Wonder Woman, and that shit went viral on two different channels that got over 500,000 views. So I got over 1 million views on those 2 videos, right? And the likes were split right down the middle, like 2,000 good, 2,000 bad. I got called an anti-Semite because she's Israeli, all this shit. But do you know who I had picked as number one? Number one, I had a no name. I was like, somebody new, But I don't think Gal Gadot's gonna fit this role. I don't like her in this role. She's too skinny. She's too small. I think it should be.
Don't body shame her.
Listen, I think it should be Gina Carano.
You bastard.
And
well,
now,
no, a lot of people.
Look at where Gina is, and look at how my favorite Wonder Woman will now always be Gal Gadot. How shit can change, man.
Kick him
the
out.
guy went viral on that shit.
Kick him out of here.
Here's the thing with that, though, is there were a lot of people at the time that wanted Gina to play Wonder Woman. They thought that she had the physique for it. So there is. I've heard that brought up multiple times. I mean,
seen that Haywire movie she was in, and it was really good. And I was big into I'm still big into the UFC, and I've watched her career. I know she paved the way for like the Ronda Rouseys and the other female fighters of the world, and that's why I loved Gina so much. I didn't know she was gonna go crazy, like fucking. But I still love Gina. I don't care if anybody doesn't like her. I still love her, but I was definitely wrong about that. I love that first Wonder Woman movie so much. You know what I mean? But it's just weird that we're talking about Gal Gadot right now and that she might not be Wonder Woman, because Gina was one of my main choices. And I was like, if we can't get Gina, give us because I had Carla Gugino, Olivia Wilde, Gina Carano, and there was one more, I can't remember who it was. And I said, if we can't have none of those, give us a no name.
Well,
but I can't believe I was politicking for Gina Carano over Gal Gadot, and Gal Gadot is an amazing Wonder Woman, and I hope she doesn't lose her job.
Well, if we let Jarbo finish the article, it does explain why they're canning Wonder Woman 3.
Yeah, so let's because I haven't finished the fucking article yet. Myself personally, I haven't. I was busy when this thing dropped. Anyway, let's go. All right, so it says here, it's unclear how any future Wonder Woman movie and Gadot's portrayal of the hero would fit into the new DC plan. It's a bit of a head-scratching timing. Gadot tweeted out of the blue yesterday, thank you to the fans on Tuesday, saying she was grateful to be allowed to play the heroine and role model, adding, can't wait to share her next chapter with you. It's unclear whether or not the actress knew the project was being toe-tagged. Yeah, it's pretty clear.
Oh, wait, can I say one more thing? And I won't derail it again. I just want to say one more thing. I remember my other choice, and the one I still want. Lucy Lawless. Lucy Lawless would make a great Wonder Woman. Okay, I'm shut up now.
This is kind of
She's
giving
too
me
old
no
now.
vibes.
She's too old now.
No,
well, this was 9 years ago.
I would say
9 years ago she was
Lucy
still
Lawless.
doing Spartacus, and she still
Lucy
looks
Lawless could be Wonder Woman anytime. All right.
Maybe.
But then again, listen. Here's the thing:
Let's
would
just
you
get
rather
Xena
her?
back.
Would you rather Xena or would you rather Wonder Woman? I'd rather Xena.
Xena.
Maybe Xena. Yeah, probably Xena.
Xena was like the OG Wonder Woman in that day, dude.
Kind of. I mean, Xena was like the 90s. You know. Yeah. I mean, Xena was huge, dude. I watched Xena. You know?
Lucy Lawless, even though she's older. Oh, dude, when I
She's
saw her in
still a
Spartacus,
knockout.
when I saw her in
Absolute
Spartacus,
knockout.
oh my god! When I saw her
Yeah,
in
you know what
Spartacus,
pisses me off though is I loved Kevin Sorbo as Hercules. God damn, fucking stupid right wing dipshit, fucking cumbrain. God, I hate that shit. It's like you were like, don't make me hate old school Hercules. I love that shit. I love those shows, man. Those
Listen,
shows.
I
can
think
separate
Lucy
the person
Lawless. Watch her. If you don't think Lucy Lawless or especially Gina Carano look like, seriously, if you don't think they look, you're telling me to read a comic, bro. Here's what I need you to do. I want you to go to the kitchen. I want you to grab a fork. I want you to put it on your forehead and run straight into a fucking wall. They look exactly like Wonder Woman. Man, that
Watch
he's trying to annoy the shit out of me.
Xena literally looks like. Literally is kind of styled off of Wonder Woman. Like her outfit even is like a resemblance. It's more like armor from that decade, but like, dude, Xena, Lucy Lawless, and when she was Xena, definitely was a dead ringer as Wonder Woman.
Yes, read the article, Matt. I'm sorry, I'm done. My OCD was killing me because I couldn't remember who the last one was.
Sure. I get you. I understand. All right. Let's see here. Where the fuck was I at? Okay. So the rest of the DC slate remains in flux, or at least being kept deep in the pocket of Gunn's own utility belt. God, these puns are pissing me off. But there are several rumors and possible scenarios to consider ahead of next week's meeting. The first, which builds on the shuttering of Jenkins' Wonder Woman 3, is the closing of the Snyderverse and the heroes cast by filmmaker Zack Snyder for his Justice League. This one sees the shutting down of Man of Steel 2 with a returning Henry Cavill and having no more Aquaman, fronted by Jason Momoa. These characters are to cameo in Flash, the highly anticipated time travel adventure movie that is due to release June 16th. Cavill shot his part of the cameo in September, but sources say there is a debate inside the studio as to whether or not to keep the cameo, and if its inclusion promises something that the studio would have no plans on delivering, which that is a fucking comment right there. That is something worth considering. That, again, that's the biggest issue with the Black Adam situation, right? It's like they overpromised and they underdelivered. If they're promising that he's back and then he's not back, that's a big slap in the face to The Rock, to be fair. And I can see why he might have some animosity, because if Gunn doesn't have a place for Cavill, or just do we know if he even likes Henry Cavill? Anyone?
That's a good question.
No clue. But check the group DMs for something.
All right.
Our group DMs? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were talking like our DMs here.
What does that have to do with anything? They still look the same. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? Man, I think you're a troll,
Chris.
dude.
Don't worry. Matt got it. Matt got it.
Chris.
Yeah, he's just trolling you now.
Goose Fraba.
You know, here, just because he's driving you. We're going to drop him in timeout for 5 minutes so Chris doesn't have a fucking aneurysm.
No, I'm cool. I'm
I
ain't gonna touch him. I ain't gonna touch him.
Dude,
I ain't gonna touch him.
A few extra chromosomes. That's all I'm saying. Man.
No, I already sent you something. You didn't
Matt,
have to
look
do
at
that.
the
Just
DM.
show it.
No,
Matt,
I looked at the DM. I'm trying to get through the goddamn article. I'm trying to get through the goddamn. I'll show it at the end of the article. I want to.
Come on, this is a Max stream.
No,
derail.
This isn't. I won't let it derail. I'll start booting bitches. Okay.
Wait, hold on. I do have a question though. Are they really pictures of Sagi cosplaying as Wonder Woman? Because I'm in. If that's what they are.
No,
yes.
they're not. They're not.
Okay.
Those are banned by the Geneva
I'm sorry.
Convention.
I'll calm down.
Anyway. Okay. So, All right. Warner's insider cautions that no plans have been finalized and that the Flash remains an unlocked picture. But that's weird because the Muschiettis have claimed otherwise, right? The Cavill situation is more than a little thorny, as the actor made a cameo in Black Adam, the DC Central, whatever. The Monday after the movie opened, he posted a video on Instagram where he announced, "I want to make it official. I'm back as Superman." But that was also 2 days before Gunn was announced as taking over. So that might have been a little premature. At the time, he was not incorrect. Warner Brothers was indeed developing a sequel to 2013's Man of Steel and actively meeting with writers. Andy Muschietti, who directed The Flash, even expressed an interest in sitting behind the camera for something that would have brought a tone similar to the hopeful and heroic colors of the 1978 Richard Donner movie, considered a benchmark in comic book movies. In fact, the current leadership team at Warner Brothers Pictures, DeLuca and Abdi, did desire one more go-around to the Snyderverse heroes, possibly even having another Justice League movie with those actors. And that is big. That's actually pretty decent. But I think looking at like the cost of everything and the returns on the other movies, that it might have just been too impossible, which basically at this point means that like the Darkseid storyline is probably toast for now, until they reboot it down the road.
Which is bad for. I really like Ray Porter. He's a nice guy, man. I want him.
He's
to
a
get
super
finished,
nice guy.
You know what I mean?
But can I just say here? All right, like, brought the tone similar to the 78 movie. We got to move past that, guys. It's a goddamn near 50-year-old movie. It's turning 45 years old next year.
And that's, Maddie, in my opinion, that's gatekeeper shit. That's comic book elitist shit. You know what I mean? I'm sick of that. I mean, that's what it is to me. And when I said I would calm down, I wasn't talking about, first of all, just answer one question in the chat here. I'm not acting like I'm not subbed to Saggies. I said sagged. Sub to Saggies only. I'm absolutely subbed. Okay. I'm just the only guy that'll admit it. You're all subbed and you know it. But when I said I will calm down,
I'm not subbed.
I meant I wasn't going to yell anymore at Watchmen. That's what I meant. I didn't mean I was going to calm down over any stuff. All right, I'm done.
But it is time. It is time though to get away from 78 Superman. It really is.
It is. Man,
it was good, but it's not like the fucking holy grail of
the first one sucks. It sucks shit. It's not a good movie.
Well, okay, wait, let's pump the brakes on that one a little bit because I disagree.
No, it is. It's garbage. The second one I like. I even like the first one. With Richard Pryor. I just don't like the first one.
How can you not like, did you not believe a man could fly?
What
do you think that R. Kelly song is based off of?
I'm gonna fly so fast that the world spins backward and turns back.
That part's dumb as fuck. That part's dumb as fuck. But it's like, no, like the idea there, I love the Donner movies because, I've always loved Donner as a director. May he rest in peace. But again, a lot of people like, I think what it is like Kevin Feige has said that they show all the directors of Marvel movies. They have them sit down and watch Superman because that's the blueprint, the codex, if you will. And I think that's a really bad. Yeah, I get why they want to do it like that, but again, it's a 45-year-old movie. We've moved past that in regards to sensibilities as a society, as a culture. We've moved past it in the way we tell stories. It's a very simple idea. But it's something to maybe strive to be, but not emulate.
And look, Matt, when I was a kid, I did enjoy them. I've never been a Superman guy, and I even enjoyed the first one because it was the only superheroes we got on the big screen. Superman was the first. I love Christopher Reeve. I love Margot Kidder. I loved the structure behind it, especially now when I rewatch them, but I still can't get myself to like the first one. It's like the first Star Trek. It's just boring to me, man. We got to get away from that elitist mentality, No,
I understand that. I mean, like, yeah, Star Trek for me didn't kick off until movie-wise. I love the original series. But yeah, like the first movie was just like when I bought the Blu-ray pack of the entire franchise, right? I mean, with, like the original cast and the Next Generation. I was like, I don't care to watch the first one again. People have told me to give it a watch again, but I'm like, it was so boring. It was so Kubrick-esque. It took itself so fucking seriously. Where then you get the Wrath of Khan and it's all like, we just went full B movie.
Yeah, that's how Superman is to me. First one's boring, and the second one you get Zod and I'm like, holy shit, dude, this is awesome.
Well, you know what? I can't argue with that. I hate the first Despicable Me movie. I fucking hate it. I can't stand that goddamn movie, but I love the sequel. Because Gru spends 90% of that movie being a dick. And it's hard to root for someone who's a dick. It's not even like an underdog. He's just a dick, right? But then you get Despicable Me 2, and he's like softened up because of the kids, and he finds love with Lucy and everything else, and he's like being the protective dad. Like, all right, cool. I just watched The Rise of Gru, and like they softened him so much for that because he had like a mentor to look up to, you know, and it was like a sweet story. It's what?
It's so fluffy. Remember the little girl?
That part was fun. Yeah. It's so fluffy. I'm going to die. Like that line was cool. And even when I watched Rise of Gru and he goes into the ice cream stop in the beginning and he pulls out the can of Cheese Whiz, I'm like, oh my God, Cheese Ray, you know? And it was, I mean, there's throwbacks obviously, but like, I still really do not like the first Despicable Me. Sometimes the first movies don't land. They don't land with some people, and that's okay. I think in this case though, it's like, yeah, to constantly go back to Donner's movie, I think is a mistake. The character lived well before then. And I think it was with the proliferation of the Donner movies that people got this idea of like Superman, I think in the wrong light. You know what I mean? Like, I really do. I think like in the wrong light. But then also we have a generation that like, why don't they fucking model it after like Superman, the animated series?
There you
know?
go.
Because
There
like
you go.
everybody,
That's a Superman I can latch on to.
If you look at like fucking, you know, Kevin Conroy just died. May he fucking rest in peace, everlasting love, the goat, right? You know, and I just fucking love that guy. But it's like, you know, like his Batman is a Batman people strive to be like. You know, like the way he voiced Batman and he was that character, that brought a lot of people to the fucking table. And I think like, and so, you know, as much as I love Keaton, like that, his Batman is like my generation's definitive Batman in my mind. You know, even though I was
he was the one, you know,
like I was 7 years old when 89 happened, and I love 89, but it's, and, you know, but when you got to the animated series and how they handled it, that was just the writing, the characterizations, the compelling storylines, allowing the character to grow, to breathe, all that stuff. That is what they should model this stuff after. And for some reason though, they're just, I don't know why they're just like deathly fucking afraid of trying to like.
Maybe that's why they're wrecking shop now. Maybe that's why he's cleaning the house, man. Maybe. they're going to do that.
Maybe. I don't know, but I agree with Daniel here. I like Pattinson quite a bit as well.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. But for me, the Superman stuff didn't really kick in until Man of Steel, and the Batman for me, I loved the 89 one. The marketing, it was everywhere. You couldn't go to one store. They had Batman everything. But man, Christian, yeah, that's my Batman, dude. He is.
I'm a cynic. That's why I hate. I don't hate Superman. I hate the idea of somebody being a Boy Scout. I'm sorry. Life is not black and white, nor should it ever be looked at as black and white. Our legal system is something that is judged predominantly by black and white when so many factors call into play, all of like how a lot of this stuff plays out. And you know what? And those gray areas have got to be explored. I'm not saying that he has to be morally gray. You know, I'm not saying that Superman has got to like fucking murder a bitch. You know, he doesn't have to. Okay. But it's like, I like this. I think Superman, I think he'd be better if he was like a fucking street level hero, like how he was in the original days. You know, like when he jumped, didn't fly. When he beat the fuck out of shitty ass slumlords. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's better than the idea that he's this all powerful OP fucking Goku-esque motherfucker. That like the only thing that hurts him is a fucking rock from his own goddamn planet, or, you know, magic. It's just
that's absolutely right.
It's like, because in reality, like eventually Superman is going to get old enough to where he's going to fucking rule humanity anyway. All right. Like, let's just be abundantly clear on that. It's kind of like the concept of, this is the whole thing when it comes to vigilantism in these stories, is like these guys do it for years, but it never actually stops crime. You ever ask yourself why that is? Don't you think if Superman was a legitimate entity, if he legitimately patrolled the world, like, I'm not saying petty crime would necessarily stop, but like, you never know. You never know if he can float above a city and hear someone crying out for help and then fly down and just Homelander a motherfucker. Are people going to stop really committing crimes? No, he's going to get sycophantic warriors like Homelander did, that are going to want him to commit those acts of violence against transgressors, to show his superiority. All right. Like absolute power corrupts absolutely.
They touched on that in Batman Returns, the Frank Miller version. They touched on, remember Reagan told him, we may have to have you put Batman down. And by the way, can you go over to Russia and handle this? And blah, blah, blah.
Oh, you mean, the Dark Knight Returns, you mean?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. Which, by the way, that as far as animated goes, that part 1, part 2, that's a fucking feast of a film.
Yeah, my favorite.
That's so goddamn good. Right? But it's just, that's kind of what it boils down to, at least in my opinion. It's like, these are characters that like I would like to see explored. What about Captain America? I mean, I don't quite know what you're getting at, but
he's probably asking, what about Captain America as his Boy Scout? But that's his character. Like that's
yeah. I mean,
Cap will kill a motherfucker if he has to.
Cap will kill a motherfucker. He has killed motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Like
he's a Boy Scout but he's like, the thing with him is that
Boy Scout with a gun.
Yeah, that's basically what he is.
Want to buy a wreath, motherfucker? Cap.
Right.
We don't sell no cookies up in this.
But at the same time, let me also say this, so that I'm going to extend the olive branch to everybody that's mad that I'm not like the Superman guy. I'm not really highly educated on Superman. I'm more of a Superman casual. So a lot of people probably know more about how they should write Superman than me. I'm just saying this Superman back then that I grew up on was not for me. Okay. But the Henry Cavill one, yeah, that's my kind of Superman. That's all I'm saying. But yeah,
I
know about him way more than I do.
Again, the fact that they humanize the character with, Henry's performance and the way Zach directed it and the writing was good. And I enjoyed that. That's the thing. I like Henry Cavill's Superman. Do I want more of that? Yes, please. I say that all the time. That doesn't change the fact that I still view that the overall character of Superman is boring, and I agree with Thomas here. People would be more like Homelander than Superman if they got the powers. We live in a very selfish world. And Superman is like, that's my thing, is like in these movies, the way this character is portrayed, it's like he's stopping these villains. But it's like, okay, after a while, you're kind of going to be like, what the fuck's the point?
And I don't feel like he was always humanized. I'm sorry, guys. I don't. Listen, here's how this is why I like my characters a certain way. The ones like, look, yeah, Superman has a weakness. It's a fucking space rock. But in my opinion, to make you a hero, you have to have courage. The only way you can have courage is if you have something to lose and you have fear. Superman fears nothing.
Well, I think the idea though is that it's the people that he cares about, right? Like that's kind of the idea. It's like the humanity angle of it. I get that, where it's like he may be indestructible, but the people he cares about aren't.
Yeah, Maddie, but that's every hero.
But even
Spider-Man, that's
very true, and that becomes a trope. That becomes a very, very weathered trope after all these times. Now, okay, Rational here says that's why Superman's rogue gallery has characters like Brainiac and Toyman, enemies who test Superman's intelligence and morality, enemies he can't punch his way out of. And that's fine. I prefer that. I would honest to God prefer that. Like I do enjoy Lex Luthor because I enjoy like the evil capitalist take on things. I think it's always kind of fun, because that is kind of reminiscent of our society. But I also am very staunchly anti-religious. And when I look at a character like Superman and how he's lionized very much as a Jesus-esque character, and Zack Snyder was very guilty of this too. But the difference is that like the way the portrayal was with Henry Cavill was like that. I don't really like this, but he's like, I don't know what else to do sort of thing. And like, that was like, it was what people projected upon him and him not being really down for it, but like also not wanting to let people down.
Are you happy, Matt, that you're going to burn in a lake of fire for eternity? No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
Dude, I miss California because of the fucking heat. All right. Like bring it on and shit. You know what I mean? Lake of Fire. Do they got fucking fish? Can I get a Mai Tai? Fucking, can I get a Choco Taco? They're extinct now, right? I don't know. I'm just saying, it's like, just when it comes to the character, this is what I prefer. Hey, we're kind of been on this shit for a while.
Yeah, I know. But we didn't get off topic because people came at us.
I don't fucking need a goddamn inspirational character.
Yeah, I'm just saying what I prefer. I'm not talking like I know Superman or this. You haven't heard me once say this is what they should do. I don't talk like that. I'm just saying he's not for me. That's all.
Yeah. So,
serious motherfuckers coming at you when you say you don't like Superman. Like,
oh, it's funny. It's really funny. Again, it's not that I don't like, I just find the character ultimately to be a bit on the boring side. And it's like, for one, like I like comic book stories, but I also am not the biggest fan. Like, I'm watching Bullet Train the other night, right? And it's like, parts of it kind of felt at times like it was going a little bit comic booky, like some of the things, but I still relatively enjoyed it. And I liked how the movie came together, and I like that characters don't have fucking superpowers. They might be fast talkers and smart and whatever, but it's like the thing I really enjoy about The Boys is that like it shows, I think it's deeply cynical, which I am a cynic, but I do enjoy, okay, here's the thing, right? I am a cynic, but I'll bring up the movie. Who do we lose? Oh, we lost Jimbo. But it's like, I was watching Spirited tonight, which is a musical. And the message of the movie is like, you can be redeemed. If you've made mistakes, you don't have to hold on to those mistakes. You can be better. And if we try to be better, it can have a ripple effect that can positively impact the people around us and potentially even the world, right? Like one act of kindness sort of thing. And it's like, I watched it again tonight with my family. I called it a Christmas classic on Twitter. I think it's a great movie, and it's got a great message to it. And it's something that I really enjoy. I'm okay with things being inspirational. What I think my biggest thing is, it's like, I don't look at these characters like these are characters you read about, stories you read about, things that you read about that you find enjoyment out of, but it's not meant to be like a fucking Bible you hold on to. You know what I mean? Anyway, all right. King of the Gold, thank you for 10. Thanks, buddy. Says, saying Superman fears nothing is a quick cop out. If there's anything, the loss of others, his mother, Lois, others, and come on, like, and so on. Like, come on, bro, read more. Well, that's what I said. I did say he fears,
but
losing
I
people.
meant on a physical level. He's indestructible. I literally said right after I said that sentence, he fears nothing because he's indestructible. I'm not talking about emotional damage.
Yeah.
I'm talking about physical damage,
Yeah.
But
so, let's get physical. Sorry. But no, I'm just saying, it's like, I get the comments like this from Marcus. Matt hates religion, but Dick rides Zack Snyder, who is a Christian Scientist. I don't Dick ride Zack Snyder. I like the guy's work.
Yeah, and who cares if
it's like
that you're reaching?
It's like, hey, guess what?
Mental gymnastics.
I fucking hate Scientology, but goddamn, do I love me some John Travolta? Like he even made, and I'm going to say it. I'm going to fucking say it, Chris. He made Battlefield Earth kind of entertaining with how over the top he was. All right.
It's so bad. It's good.
It's so bad. It's kind of fun to watch. All right. Fucking Forrest Whitaker, all the Dutch angles. It's just a mishmash of a movie, but he sells his part. But then again, you watch something like Broken Arrow. I love Broken Arrow. Fucking Face Off. You know what I mean? Like I love Face Off, him in that movie. You've got, he was great in the 2004 Punisher as well as the bad guy. From fucking Paris with Love with Jonathan Rhys Meyers.
Yeah, and you know what? That was right after his son died. He was going through some shit when he made that movie.
Jet passed away. Yeah, he lost his wife too.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, for me, but I grew up with like Look Who's Talking. Love those movies. Fucking Grease, I've seen. I can't even tell you how many times. Right? He's a Scientologist. Tom Cruise is a Scientologist.
So is Tom, and I love everything.
Right, and I love Tom Cruise movies too, man. Like you can separate the art from the artist. It's not that bad. If Zach, I don't even think he's a Christian. I don't even know. I don't care. I don't give a shit. All right, like it doesn't matter to me necessarily. But it's when you try to run those allegories, or people who hold on to those allegories, I should say, that I'm not a big fan of. But anyway,
I just want the ones that I can relate to. You know what I mean? And they need to be complex. To me, Superman. By the time Superman became complex, all the Brainiac stuff and the Doomsday stuff and the Darkseid stuff, I had already grown out of it and was like, yeah, fuck Superman. And I'll say it. Yo, I respect Superman. I love that he's part of the Justice League, but fuck Superman. Give me Logan. Give me Frank Castle. Give me the Green Lantern from DC. Those are the kind of characters I relate to. You know what I mean? Especially my favorite
like street level.
The Punisher's my favorite of all time, by the way. That's my favorite comic book character of all time.
I mean, yeah, like I love Daredevil. I love Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man, dude. Like I fucking adore Spider-Man. And for me, a lot of it is like, I don't like the fucking a lot of the globe-trotting heroes. I like the fucking isolated ones, the street level ones. Because to me, it comes across as more realistic, right? Like you're going to patrol the neighborhood sort of thing. And I think I've always felt Spider-Man's villains were just more interesting. But then again, I also feel that the way Marvel writes its characters, humans dealing with things rather than what I feel DC is usually like overpowered gods trying to run from their abilities is oftentimes what I feel it is. It's a very different dichotomy, and I think that people who are more predisposed, like if you okay, this is a hot take, and we'll get back to the article, but if I had to kind of summarize it in a very simple way, not to say this is accurate, but like kind of where I'm at, atheists like Marvel, religious people enjoy fucking DC. I think that's like that's kind of how I view it at this point. It's just like, because for some reason I never get in these arguments with Marvel fucking people. Like I never get in these because none of the Marvel characters, as far as I can tell, are ever portrayed in that particular light.
No, and I'm not trying to change Superman. Everybody's got their version of Superman they like. That's why I think half the chat is trolling right now. I'm literally saying I like Zack Snyder's version of Superman because it felt like they humanized it more. I love that scene where he's in the closet and he's getting his powers and he's at school and his mom's talking to him through the door. I love that shit. I love that he went out and destroyed that man's truck instead of hurting that man. Oh,
people got so mad that he destroyed the truck.
Yeah,
I'm like, fuck, that was funny. You know what I mean?
Superman wouldn't have a temper. If somebody domed Lois right in front of him, bam, blew her fucking brains out. He wouldn't lose his shit. He wouldn't want revenge. Stop it, people. Stop it, man. Y'all are trying to cling on to something that no one's able to relate to, man.
Here's my question, though, right?
So Superman is Jesus. Oh, I get it, guys. Superman is Jesus.
Here's my question. Here's an honest question. And this goes back to a previous conversation we had earlier. If Superman is an alien, how the fuck could he nut and Lois and get her pregnant? Like, that's my question.
Yeah, but he could. First of all, his nut would come out so fast it blow her fucking head off.
Shotgun right through her back. Blow her head off. It's the line from Mallrats. It's like a shotgun right through her back. Anyway,
I forgot about that.
Just food for thought about whether or not.
Clearly, you don't know that there's something called a bank, and he donates, and they put it like that. So, duh.
But here's the thing: if a needle can't pierce his skin, how the fuck is a needle going to be able to get into the jizz, right? Because if he doesn't bleed, does he produce the liquid? Like, do his nuts work? Can he spit? Does he piss? Does he go to the bathroom? Have these things been talked about? What is the anatomy? What is the anatomy?
Peacemaker, that he eats his own.
Yeah, but remember, Peacemaker reads that shit on 4chan and believes it. That's one of my favorite elements of Peacemaker, man. Is the fact that he like goes on these message boards and he's like, yeah, I read about it on the internet. So it must be true. And it's just like, it's great. Because there's social commentary on that front. And, Anyway.
And I didn't start.
Okay. Meta corrected me here. Marvel is about humans trying to become gods. DC is about gods trying to be more human. Okay, that's a very good thing here.
That's actually is really
That's
smart.
the quote. That's the quote I was trying to get to.
That is really smart.
Jay here says, and Jarbo, you do need Jesus in your life. Read the Bible before judging it. I've read the Bible. I found it boring. It's a book. Look, comic books and Bibles have a lot in common. They do, because they talk about superpowered beings having an influence over your life. And these stories are told through the perspectives of moral parables and lessons about how to be better people. And that's effectively what it is. All right. Like, if you believe the story of Jonah and the whale, there's a high likelihood you'll believe the story of the last song of Krypton. They're very aligned when it comes to that particular philosophy.
If you believe the story of Job, you would probably hate God.
if you believe the story of Job, yeah, like if you're cool with what God and God's like, hey, let's fuck with this one asshole over here. Let's kill his wife. Let's kill his
devil.
Kids,
make a bet.
Yeah, let's burn his fields. Let's destroy his house. Let's give him diseases. He won't waver in his fucking faith. Right? The idea there is just if you hold on a little bit longer, God will reward you. But it makes you really ask yourself, if your whole world goes to shit and you still have your faith, why is God, picking you out to be completely fucked with? Right? I'm just saying it's like, fuck, that's all it is. And if you look at the concepts and the morality tales of the Bible and what the Bible tries to sell people and what people who preach the Bible, I mean, listen, you could, at some point in time, I would not be surprised. And this is not a dig, but an observation. I would not be surprised if Poindexter Lounge, if Enosh brought a Superman comic to his church and used it as a teaching prop during one sermon. Like today, we're going to be talking about the story of Clark Kent, in this particular issue, Superman number 183. You know, and I say that I'm not trying to be a dick, but it's like, you know, I know for his sermon, he brings up Superman pretty often. Right?
Matt, have you not been to a modern church? Where
I have not been to a modern church.
Okay, most
did they actually do that? Did they do that?
Yeah.
They do that now? Oh my god!
They use the last church I went to a long time ago, the pastor tried to be hip and use like pop culture references in the Bible. They do that. It's kind of just to modernize it to make it.
Is it?
Oh my god! I went to one. I literally went to one with my mom.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I'll go to church with her once in a while. Look, I am spiritual. I do believe in God, but I don't believe in organized religion. But I go with my mom a couple times a year. And the one I went to, the guy was talking about the Black Widow sacrifice, and he was comparing that as an allegory to Jesus. He went all in on it.
They do take pop culture references to kind of
it's like that scene from Clerks 2 when Trevor talks about the flowchart proving that the Transformers came from God.
Oh my god. I dude, man.
I didn't know that. I haven't been to church in years, guys.
Yeah,
I burn if I walk in the door.
They do that. They've been doing that for a while.
That's crazy.
Now.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I mean, it makes sense because, like I said, that church, they want to get people obviously in and to use things that would reference. And not only that, I prefer them doing that over than like making. I remember when I was a kid growing up as a Baptist, there were some kids in my like Sunday school that like didn't watch the like TV. They only were allowed to watch like Christian shows, which all were creepy and sucked. Like they could, like I couldn't go to those classes and talk about like Power Rangers because they weren't allowed to watch Power Rangers because of the violence. So it's like when churches start incorporating that stuff, it's actually, I mean, I appreciate it because it means like they're gonna start allowing their kids to like watch these things.
Yeah. I mean, when I was younger, like my aunt and my uncle was a pastor, and he like wouldn't let my cousins, like watch Harry Potter or read Harry Potter because it was the devil's work, But then I'd go to their place and we'd end up watching like The Mask of Zorro. It's like one of their favorite movies, and there's a scene where like literally like the bad guy drinks some water out of a jar that's got a guy's head in it. And they're like fine with that shit, but goddamn, you use a fucking wand, like
my cousin, Matt. Okay. My cousin, his name's Matt. Okay. And he was coddled his whole life. And he had like this, I don't know, this hero worship for me. I don't know why. He always went wherever I was. Anyway, my whole family, for the most part, They all turned Pentecostal. They left Catholicism. My family's still traditional Catholic, but they all went Pentecostal. And Pentecostals, you can't wear makeup. You got to wear a skirt at all times. You got to keep your hair up, blah, blah, blah. And I wanted to take him to see Revenge of the Sith. And my aunt Chris, she said, I heard there's a decapitation scene in there. You can't bring him. Anyway, so she wouldn't let me take him because, Anakin cut off Dooku's head or whatever. And she knew about that. Anyway, they coddled him his whole life. They coddled him, kept him in church. He could only watch things on a monitor through DVD. They didn't have cable or none of that. I'm talking hardcore, damn near Mennonite Quakers, okay? Kid grew up to be a murderer. So what's that say? He was protected from all the bad shit his whole life, and they pumped his head through with so much of that biblical shit that it fucked him up, okay? He lost his temper one night, started hanging out with gangs, and murdered 2 people. He's doing life in prison.
Well, I will say this.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's crazy. But I will say this. Like,
no. Sorry, go ahead. There's just a tweet from, this is from Geekosity. What the fuck?
Well, while you get that ready, because I'm sure you're gonna show it. I was gonna say a lot of stories. A lot of people don't realize a lot of the good stories that exist, like in entertainment, have been inspired by stories from the Bible. So again, it's not like out of the realm of reality that it is some stories out there that you can relate, even though as crazy it sounds, because some of the stories, superhero stories, they have elements of that too, where it can be comparable to stories in the Bible, even though it's really ridiculous as it sounds. It is not out of the realm of reality.
And some of the stories in the Bible are actually kind of cool.
No, there's
Yeah,
cool, like,
yeah,
dude,
they
there's
got
like
some cool
fucking
stories in the
giants
Bible.
and shit, right? The Nephilim.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool. You know,
Cain and Abel, great story. Prodigal son.
I'll tell you
great
this:
story.
when I first heard the story of Planet X, which I know is bullshit, but like that fascinated me for weeks. I was like, is that real? For like a brief minute, because this is like, I don't want to say, this is like 2007, but like, and I was like, you know, because my friend who I was like really smart came to me and was like, did you hear about this? And I didn't think he would believe it, but he kind of did. And I was like, well, if he believes it, then it's kind of got, maybe there's something behind it. And then I'm like, oh no, he's just fucking insane. But real quick here. So this was posted just a few minutes ago by Geekosity Mag. What the fuck? Like,
yeah, I just saw that too.
what is this? What is this shit?
Oh my god.
Do you know what that means? Like, I don't know. I mean, like,
but only James.
He's trying to say that James. He's trying to say that James Gunn lied, and they cut Patty behind his back, and he didn't know it was going to happen. It's tongue in cheek bullshit. It's more of their fucking clickbait lying. That's all it is.
That's just yeah. That's fucking weird. Anyway. All right, H Barts did drop a $5. Thanks, buddy. Says dropping in to say hi, and he's too busy to listen tonight, but I'll check out the replay. Awesome, thank you very much, H Barts. He's working. He's on like 7 days a week right now at work, man. Fucking, they're killing him. You know. So I wish him the best. H Barts is a good dude. All right, let's get into get back to the fucking article here.
Yeah, before I
saw
the
the
chat some more because now I'm feeling like I want him, man. Does he have a fucking green card? Did we even allow him to become an American citizen yet? He doesn't count because he's a fucking extraterrestrial. How about that?
No, he's a dreamer, man. Come on. You know, like
he's fucking milk toast. He's white bread. That's what the fuck he is.
Jesus Christ. All right. Anyway, okay. So, all right. Also unlikely is a sequel to Black Adam, despite the hype surrounding the movie of launching a new corner of DC. A lot of it led by Dwayne Johnson. The movie has only grossed $385 million worldwide, and insiders at the studio said that the movie, which cost more than $190 million to produce, two sources peg them the actual cost at $230 million, not including marketing. Jesus, will be lucky to break even, and even considering the ancillary revenue, and even if the movie does eke out a minimal profit, any follow-ups. Inherent rising costs dim the prospect of a sequel. And that was the reason why The Rock was out this morning, really trying to downplay that. Like, oh no, it's actually going to turn a profit.
Running damage
and then he, like, after that whole thing, like an hour or two ago, he just posted, like, tweeted
the article again without any context.
Yeah, and then people were like, dude, like, take the L or, like, let it go already.
Yeah, I mean, we're still gonna love you, dude. We're still gonna love you. Like, what the fuck? Just take the L.
and then someone said it's just negative noise, and he's like, hell yeah, brother, it's just negative noise.
No, you're trying to form reality in our minds through the media, and we know that the movie did not perform the way you wanted it to, but your ego won't allow you to take the fucking L, and people will just respect you more if you say, yeah, it didn't hit. I thought it would. This was my dream project. It didn't work out. Okay, on to the next thing. But no, you got to try to build this crazy narrative to pass it in our heads that you didn't take an L. You're taking a fucking L, homeboy. That's it. We still love you. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, the what was it, red one for Amazon? No, Jesus Christ. I'm gonna see, like, I saw Jungle Cruise. It was okay. I saw Black Adam. It was okay. You know. I've seen a lot of things with his, I like, you know, fucking Be Cool was good. The Rundown was great. Walking Tall, that's actually, I think that's on Netflix right now. So I don't actually watch that again.
Walking Tall was a great movie.
It was okay. It was okay. I mean, I think like, I thought the beginning of Central Intelligence was really funny. It kind of turns into a Kevin Hart thing towards the end, I think, more than The Rock, but it's not bad. It's not bad. Like,
it's not bad.
Even Red Notice, I was watching clips of it again the other day, and I'm like, you know, maybe I need to go back and give it another watch.
I actually really enjoy the chemistry between him and Ryan Reynolds.
That was good.
Yeah,
when they're in the prison, it's like, don't do it. I know what you're doing. Don't do it.
By the way, did I miss the picture?
No, I haven't shown it yet, and I'm not going to. So,
wow, why?
Because I'm working on this part, and you know what? It's almost after midnight. Kids got school in the morning. So
Saggy's like F
your kids don't need an education.
Well, you know, Saggy. Wow. Are my kids DC fans and I just didn't know it?
Oh shit!
What? I don't know why you took it as an insult. Maybe I was implying they were too smart for school. Why do you have to?
Smart. Thank you.
Exactly.
My 5-year-old can spell her own name now, and she's very excited about that.
I love your kids. They're so cute, dude.
Is that how you say it, Donice? That's my favorite rock movie. That's the Faster. He's different in that movie than he is in any other movie. I love Faster. That's my favorite.
Well, that was also the first film put out by CBS Films, and that came out in 2010, I think. The fall of 2010 is when I think that one came out, and it was a low budget. That was like CBS Films, like low budget movies. And that was just The Rock, like it's a revenge flick.
It's a revenge story,
and it's got it was solid. It was a solid movie. All the kids need now is Bluey, dude. My girlfriend hates Bluey. The kids wanted to watch it today, and I put it on for them. And then I went off to go do something, and I come back out, and all of a sudden it was off. And I'm like, what happened? And my daughter was like, Mommy turned it off. So I went and I turned it back on, and then I hid the remote.
Wow.
Just so
you're evil. This is why we can't.
How long did you make them look for that remote control?
No, my kids like Bluey. I like Bluey. It's a good show. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, let's keep going here. All right. So Johnson had hoped to carve out his own piece of the DC pie, but multiple sources say his playing up of the returning Cavill and his own involvement with DC may not be endearing him to the new management. Johnson and Cavill are both managed by Danny Garcia, who is also Johnson's producing partner. The perception of Adam turning a profit or not is a conflagration now being waged in public, with Johnson tweeting that the movie would net over $50 million after Variety Story said that the movie would lose over $50 million. Yeah, this is the wildest story of 2022, all things considered.
The feud between The Rock and the trades using Deadline against Variety and The Hollywood Reporter is the most
it's unheard of.
It's the most hilarious and unheard of thing ever.
It really this is where I just I don't get it.
I just pettiness and
this
ego.
The best. We joke about the ego, we do, but it's this is.
And we see it.
We see it in real time. It's right here, right here, right now.
Get out. Get out. You're so corny, dude. Your dad moments fucking kill me.
You know what I love? What I love about being a dad, and I do I love that the bad jokes I would tell as a kid are now just they're just dad jokes. You know what I mean? They're great, and my kids get a kick out of them. So I don't give a fuck, right? I don't give a shit. My kids laugh at my jokes. I'm happy with that.
Somebody's got it.
Someone's got it. It's Tester. I run jokes by them that I would perform here later on. But I change the terminology. You know what I mean? So as to no, I'm kidding. I don't do that. Although
I was gonna say, be very careful.
No, I do not do that. I do not do that. But I was watching a bunch of stand-up comedy videos the other night, and I thought to myself, I should try stand-up. I've never done it. And then I'm like, but would I be any good at it? Because crowd work ain't always my thing. So I don't know. I gotta maybe take some courses on that, and then try to think of some funny things to say about cum.
I was gonna, man, you took my punchline. I was gonna say that. You stole my joke. I was gonna say about cum.
about.
I want somebody someday. If y'all want something interesting to do and challenge yourself, I want somebody to go through at least 10 of Hollywood After Dark streams and see if there's one where Matt doesn't talk about semen.
They're few and far between.
No, I don't talk about semen all the time. All right.
Yeah, and it's not really cum. It's just we kind of do get on the naughty topics once in a while.
This is called Hollywood. Last night I showed Chris pornmd.com just to laugh at the search terms that are going on right
now. Whoa, wait, Watcher. First of all, I've never said I hate bullies. I enjoy bullying bullies. So I don't know what you're talking about. I've never once said that I hate bullies. I bully bullies. I love bullies. They always give me something to do.
And I don't bully anybody. I haven't made anything personal. You just disagree with my opinion, and your booty's tickled right now. That's all that's about. Your butt hurt. Like, so, this ain't my stream, it's Matt's, but I'm going to be honest. Zero fucks if you leave. Zero fucks.
Yeah. I timed you out. I timed you out because you're being annoying. There's a difference there. I don't care if you got, if you got opinions, that's fine. You're being annoying, Also,
so I didn't say anything mean. I still love the Watcher.
Saggy, but it's like, you said you were going to leave a while ago. You're still here. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
And I challenge you to really quote anything I said mean to you in this stream at all.
Anyway, he probably can't.
I don't do that to people, man.
You did get a little nasty.
You come at me and I dig back. That's it. That's all. Telling me, look, to me, it's disrespectful. Blah, 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 blah. For fuck's sake, read a comic book. Okay, for fuck's sake, fuck you. How about that? I don't insult my intelligence by thinking that, like, oh, you haven't read every comic book Superman's in since 1945, so therefore you're a loser and don't know about the subject and shouldn't be talking about it. No, how about this? How about you eat all the dicks? How about that? All of them. Every one of them.
I mean, this whole argument could have been debunked if Matt just showed my freaking picture.
Fine. God fucking damn it, Saggy.
This all started over the Lucy Lawless thing.
I will show the Lucy Lawless picture.
Lucy Lawless.
Okay, are you happy? You happy?
Yeah, see, she would look like Wonder Woman. Get bent.
Yeah, and that's why I got mad because he told me read a book, bro. Like it's like saying I'm dumb. I don't like that, man.
And that wasn't to watch. I was just saying Lucy Lawless 100% looked like Lucy.
Tell me that woman don't look like Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
she can rock
and that's just an edited version of the original picture.
No, she can't.
Sorry, and if you think that I really want you to go into the kitchen. If you really think that I really want you to go into the kitchen and like take a fork and hurt yourself, if you can't understand that kind of comedy, bro, like I don't know what to tell you, man. If that offended you and hurt your feelings, then the real world's gonna fucking eat you alive, kid. That's all I'm saying. Don't be so sensitive.
Anyway, okay. So, all right, it's been a bit contentious tonight. I'll fully admit, and as a person running the show, I you know what? I've been in a bit of a mood. So let's move on. I mean, we can laugh at. There's one other person we can laugh at, I think, but it's been 2.5 hours. I love
laughing at people.
Well, you weren't here. You weren't here at the beginning.
I wasn't.
I told Chris this joke before we started tonight, but all right. So I was contacted today by Batman Gate, Chris Wozniak, and he actually wants to send me a Christmas card.
Oh yeah,
and I didn't respond to it. My immediate thought was like, I don't know, maybe you should save that money for your lawsuit because he's getting sued by Warner Brothers.
Woof.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, it's just been a day. It's just been a fucking day, but let's keep.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, come on, you guys want to know how cheeky I've been? Did you see my fucking thumbnail? All right, like that is the mood I'm in. Like this took
that's
me
a great thumbnail.
I had to go in and like create the image in Canva and then export it so I could do the PNG cutout, re-import it, and then do it. You know what I mean? Like I even had another one. I did an alternate thumbnail before doing this one. This is the first one that I put together. But it's not.
Damn, I don't know which one I like better now. That first one's a little controversial, though. I like the first one better.
It's like yeah. I mean, sometimes I work on very. This one's a little bit harder, yeah.
Jesus, I just looked up on my screen. I'm like, why is he pointing the gun at Zack Snyder's head?
I probably should have put The Rock up there, but I thought it was going to be like, Deadpool kills the Snyderverse sort of thing. It was just like
Christ. Holy shit, man. I'm so glad you went the other one. Holy crap.
Did you not? I posted it in the DM group. I'm like, which one? A/B test, A/B test, A/B test.
I was playing video games, but Jesus.
No, I probably should have put the Rock set up there. I was going, like, what I do when I think of the thumbnails is I was like, I told RJ too. I'm like, I put this in the DM. I'm all like, I need a spicy thumbnail for tonight. I need a spicy thumbnail. And then he's like, what are you thinking? And I just showed the Wonder Woman picture. And he's like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zachary says it should have been the one where Gunn was burning a Snyderverse script. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of like, I made it real quick, so I was just kind of like in my mind going, what would be compelling and funny at the same time.
I was thinking about one with Darkseid standing on the head of Steppenwolf, but I was gonna have like, James Gunn and The Rock's head being. That one would have been fun.
I mean, look, these are like, by the way, I do not support or condone violence in any way, shape, or form. This is clearly just a take on this. By the way, if you guys don't remember when this image first dropped and it showed Wonder Woman, I'll actually just bring up the actual fucking image here. When this image itself actually came out and Zach posted it, people took it and they drew their own version of it where it was Wonder Woman and she had the heads of, who was it? It was
Hamada, Jeff Johns, and John Berg.
Yeah, right. And so this is a great photo, by the way, and this is totally what
I know the story, like the whole plot of this whole movie. And
it sounded great. It
sounds amazing.
Yeah, this is the whole Crimea War thing, right?
Yeah, it was the Crimean War, and Steve Trevor wasn't in it until like the last 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, it was really cool, and I just love this idea of like the warrior princess and stuff. And
warrior
so
who shows up every so often.
That's a great picture too, man.
Yeah,
that's a great picture.
Like Zach has this on his wall, and everything. So
I would have loved to see this as a movie.
Oh hell yeah! Absolutely would have loved to have seen that.
It was not Patty Jenkins' idea.
Yeah, she wanted something a little different there.
Yeah.
And it should have been Zach's turkey with Dwayne's head on it.
Oh my god.
That dry ass turkey, bro.
I'm so glad there wasn't a turkey image this year.
She looks great, and like, don't get me wrong, I like the outfit from 1984, and she looks great in heels, and she's wearing heels in that, and she looks great in heels, but no woman would really fight in heels. Okay, Saggy, you're a female. Have you ever worn heels? Could you fight in them?
Hell no, bro. I can barely walk in them bitches.
But that is a great picture, man. That's a great.
I'm just saying it's a cool photo, but I was just like, but it was controversial when that person did the image with Jeff Johns and John Berg and Hamada on it, and so many people got like so furious, like it's a call to violence. You're blah 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 blah. And I'm like, it's a fucking image. It's a fucking image. So I just kind of recreated it here, very poorly, I might add. And it's just like, so just to be a bit on the cheeky side. Because I like to be cheeky, and everything else.
Like the cheeks.
Like to clap them cheeks.
Okay, I'm done.
Hey, done. Man, I'm just saying.
You're being too inappropriate. I'm going to leave.
Yeah, right.
I'm being too inappropriate.
Saggy's too sensitive. She can't handle that kind of stuff.
Is the Watcher's still here, by the way. He says he left, but he's still here. All right, let's get back in and finish this.
I ain't even really mad at the guy, just don't come at me. That's all. You try to go over the top of me, I'm gonna go right back over the top of you, man. Like that. I'm not even mad at the guy. I'm definitely a top. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Sure.
Oh my.
If I went bear mode, and you know what I mean by bear. If I went bear mode, became a bear, I'd be top. I'd be top bear. I'd be polar bear.
I don't have a good experience with those.
Circle, man, that's fucked up. I can walk in regular shoes, you asshole.
I thought you need like Dr. Scholl's orthopedic shoes.
No, that's
like
you old man.
You got that cleft foot.
I hate you.
That's why your OnlyFans are never about your feet. Chris told me. Anyway.
He'd know.
I would know, but I did not tell him anything about what you post on there. That's a lie.
By the way,
he already knows.
Saggy's, I know what it is. I don't know. I haven't seen the pictures.
She previews it to us in the chat.
No, I don't. No, she does not. No, she does not.
It's not like Saggy doesn't know it. I've literally DM'd this girl and said, "Listen, I don't know if you know this yet, but you and me, in my mind, I've already had you several times."
Hold on. Listen. No,
wow.
No, listen. This
skeet,
is
skeet.
This is the thing, right? No, when I launched it, obviously my friends were like, "What the hell?" They were not curious, like they wanted to see it. They were just like, well, "What are you gonna do?" And I told them they know what it is. Like they didn't see it, but I've told them what it was, so they have an idea.
Yeah, we have an idea, but it's like still certain things. I just there's certain things in this world that once you see, you can't unsee.
Fuck you.
I don't mean that in like a bad way. I'm just saying it's like it's true.
Oh, I
It's
was
like,
afraid at first, man. I was like, man, well, because I love her. She's my friend, she's my friend. So if I look at these, am I gonna start feeling a certain kind of way? Nah, I'll be all right. Then I started looking at it. I was like, I'm feeling a certain kind of way.
well, it's like one time one of my friends got a job at a strip club, and a couple of us went down there to go like say hey and cheer her on and stuff. And then she was like, it's kind of slow tonight. Like, do you want a lap dance? And I'm all, okay. So we go in the back. She gives me a lap dance, and it was awkward as fuck. Cause like I know her, and
yeah, that'd be a little different. That's kind
I'm
of
just like, I'm just like, nah, all right,
boundaries,
like,
bro. Boundaries.
Yeah, we might cross the line here that like should not have been crossed, but we're good.
Goober, what's that feeling? The feeling is, if I drove to Boston, you're telling me there's a chance.
What's that feeling is that's the calluses on the pads of his fingers. You know what I mean? Like that's the feeling that he experiences.
I might listen. Here's what I was thinking, guys. If you will, she's got a really great, and I know you guys are like, really? She's got a really great one of her dressed up as, I think it's Raven. Okay.
Yeah, my Raven one.
And I was gonna say, I don't screenshot.
Is that the one where you deep faked your face on?
No, it's her for Halloween. It was Halloween, and she looks.
Because there's one where she like deep faked her face on one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I actually bought a costume though.
Well, I was going to screenshot one. I don't usually screenshot that kind of stuff because I can just go look at whenever I want. But I was going to screenshot that Raven one of her, all draped out, sexy, make posters, and that was going to be all y'all's Christmas presents this year. No joke.
Oh my god, yes, that's going to be my Christmas cards. This is a picture from my OnlyFans.
Oh my god. Greetings from Saggy.
Oh god.
Onlyfans.com.
No, but she looks great. She looks great. She looks like Raven, but she also looks sexy in that picture. I was like, damn, girl, you're killing it.
I'm sure she does, Halloween. But I don't think her like your cousin's gonna want to see that.
And the best part, none of that tacky black lipstick.
I mean,
that was my favorite part. I hate that black lipstick.
Very
anyway, enough about
fetish.
Saggy's melons.
Yeah. You know how many fucking people have dipped out in the last 5 minutes? A lot.
No, not really.
They don't like tits. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding.
Here.
No, we had 190 for a minute.
Okay, so yeah, about.
Yeah, but it's getting late.
It is getting late. Yeah.
And this doesn't just happen when I'm on the panel. It happens when everybody's on the panel. I'm not the one that like fucks these topics. We try to stay linear.
Matt usually ruins food for me. That's what he does. He'll ruin food that I like for me and make it sound like it's the consistency of semen, and then I get all upset.
I've only said like it was like 2 foods.
Yeah,
I should say your favorite food. Your favorite food.
Yeah, you ruined my favorite foods.
Because I said tapioca balls kind of have the consistency of cum.
And to be completely honest, we haven't gone that far off topic. Everything we've been talking about has been cohesive with the whole the Snyderverse is probably dead. Are these people going to lose their job? All this stuff is cohesive.
Sure, yeah.
They're going to need to start an OnlyFans. That's what they were doing.
There we go. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Gal Gadot's going to need to start an OnlyFans. There we go. Saggy called it.
Yeah, exactly. And the best part of these streams is the conversation. That's my favorite part,
I think that's why people stick around, to be honest with you. It's like, they get a kick out of something. I get messages from people who listen to the show who enjoy it. And I do read the comments as the comments come on in and everything else.
And that's what I do. I catch myself doing that because I don't want to feel like we're ignoring people, and I come on your show quite a bit now.
It's there's people in the chat. So anyway, I do want to finish this article.
But a drinking game. We need the Matt Jarbo drinking game. Every time he says something inappropriate, you do a shot.
He doesn't drink, though.
I don't drink. I haven't had a drink in. Well,
I'm talking about the people in the chat. We start a Matt Jarbo drinking game. They watch your stream. Every time you say something inappropriate or someone on panel does, they got to do a shot.
There we go.
They won't make it. They won't make it to the first hour. Finish the article.
I even said today, I'm like, I'm still recovering from the flu. I'm like, I didn't want to go longer than an hour and a half, and here we are coming up on 3. So it's like, fuck. Anyway, okay, so let's continue on. Jason Momoa, meanwhile, could emerge as a pivotal figure in the new plans, according to several sources. In one scenario, the actor would wrap up his days as underwater hero Arthur Curry in The Lost City, which would be the final movie released that was made by the previous regime, but it would not spell the end of the actor's involvement with DC. With sources saying that the actor would lead another movie or franchise, the character of Lobo, a foul-mouthed, cigar-chomping intergalactic bounty hunter, has been mentioned in connection with Momoa. And that could be something that was that video he put out where things are changed. Something he really wants is happening. And there's been some talks he's been hinting at it too.
he's more of a fan of Lobo than he is of Aquaman.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's all, and I'm sure Zach wouldn't care. Whether or not Momoa does play everyone's favorite Bastiche. Okay. Lobo emerging as a rising character early on in the conversation may point to the kinds of characters that Gunn Safran team may be working on. The character is an outsider, an anti-hero, and keeping in line with Gunn's speciality of taking the offbeat and quirky and flipping them into crowd-pleasing fare. Part of the plan could entail a truly fresh start and having no baggage from any previous regimes as they set about resetting how DC movies and shows are made. That, however, does not take into account the possible success of movies such as Shazam 2, which Safran produced, Blue Beetle, and then would that plan include forging ahead without the actors who inhabit those characters and recast them, even if those movies prove to be box office hits? That's a tough one, to be fair, because I mean, Blue Beetle
what does happen to Blue Beetle and Shazam 2, like all of those threads, what happens to them? Like, they become unanswered.
That is very true.
So it's like, what do you do? And I'm sure they have taken account for that. And as Gunn mentioned that how do you not know that? How do you know if they are not putting notes into the ones that are about to come out? So we'll see.
Well, I think James has said that they're overseeing the rollout, right? So they are going to try to do whatever they can,
right?
To help out.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a switch around in the slate, if Blue Beetle's actually if they push up Aquaman and push back Blue Beetle or something, and then.
Look, I understand that people. I get it. You make announcements like this. And, James Gunn's really prevalent on social media, and we want answers now. I get it. We all do want answers now. But try to remember how busy this man is and the fact that he just got the job. And everybody already wants all these answers. And what are you going to do with this? And what are you going to do with that? And you should do this and you should do that. That's the kind of shit that's going to run him off social media. You watch.
Yeah, it's with any luck. There's also right here. Goober says, a Matt Jarbo drinking game. I don't want to die. People will die if that drinking game starts. You guys
will be submitted to
you guys have the highest amount of faith in me, and I appreciate
lightweights.
But I don't drink.
I can do 50 of them in an hour, and I'll be fine.
Yeah, there we go. All right, let's finish this thing up here. Observers are convinced that the plan calls for an interconnected story universe, and there is rumblings of the establishment of a creative brain trust. The brain trust may be already rolling in some capacity, as sources say that Safran had in recent weeks been meeting with writers at his Los Angeles home in an effort to hone the presentation, gathering feedback and ideas for the plan. One part is that the Gunn Safran agenda seems likely not to touch, at least for now, is the Matt Reeves Batman universe in which Robert Pattinson dons the cowl. Reeves is already working on a sequel, and the filmmaker is overseeing the launch of 2 Batman series that are spinning out of the movie. So that is definitely something. I mean,
I wonder if RJ's not right. Maybe they really are going to try to build this universe around the Matt Reeves stuff.
That would be fascinating if they did. And the reason why it would be fascinating is because it would take it in a completely new direction. Instead of building it first around Superman, they'd build this new one around Batman. I mean, look at the success of the Batman.
You know what? Yeah. They should build this new universe around.
And RJ touched on this theory not too long ago.
We built a universe around Batman, kind of. We're building one right now around Batman, and we built one around Superman. Let's just go ahead and build one around Hal Jordan.
That too. But look, not to shit on DC or Zach. I get it. It's kind of a landmine back there, though. If you look at it from it almost feels like there's 3 or 4 different DCs. It does. But
I mean,
look at the success the Batman had when it broke away and said, look, we ain't got shit to do with that universe. Look at the success Joker had when they said, nope, this is our own thing over here. We ain't got shit to do with that universe. Those 2 movies were so successful. And I think part of it was because they didn't feel like they had to have any connective tissue with what's going on with the Flash and what's going on with Ben Affleck. And oh my God, James Wan up here with Aquaman. Everybody feels like everything's got to connect. And I agree. I think it should connect. But I think there's so much debris in the backfield, Matt, that they can't. There's no way to connect all that in a a way people are going to comprehend. They've made too much. They just can't do it. So start from scratch. Go with Matt Reeves. I would do that.
I mean, I love the Batman. I think it's a great movie. I'm not sure how I feel about that in general, because I feel like the Batman is grounded. It's grounded in a way that I personally really enjoy, because I'm not a huge fan, again, of like overly mystical or spiritual aspects of these things. So that would be interesting to see, like, how Matt Reeves would want to tackle this stuff. But I also kind of look at it very similar to, let's say, like the Dark Knight movies, because those didn't feel like they would exist in the same universe as something with Superman, the way that, again, that Snyder had kind of brought in, Batman and everything else into that world, I thought worked out real well. At the end of the day, all they have to do is just kind of do it and then just hold to their guns.
Yeah.
If they can do that, then it doesn't matter if they fumble. They'll still be able to like pick up steam as time goes. And I get that. And I do support that, to be honest with you. I feel like canceling Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman is the best call for right now. Keep Gal. Put her in like another team up movie. If DeLuca and Abdi wanted to do another Justice League, maybe, and I'll say this, maybe down the road, like, maybe that's something Gunn, do we know what Gunn thinks about the Snyder Cut? Did he like it?
Yeah. Well, he said that he liked,
hold on. Let's see.
I think he said he liked Man of Steel, along with Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige said it too. They both said they really respected and liked Man of Steel.
Yeah.
And so, Zach and James are old friends, man. You know what I mean?
They are. But I think, and a question that I have for you guys, do you think that the social media response to this stuff, like the fact that fire James Gunn is trending, bring back Zack Snyder is trending? I mean, trending for you, but it does have a lot of people that are going to be talking about it. Do you think that plays like they're culling the herd now in order to make sure?
Grace said something that was really smart. She said that a lot of these stars and these producers, and especially Zack Snyder, she didn't say his name, but you know who she was talking about, have weaponized their following. They've weaponized their fans through social media. And I agree with her.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
And she said that she thinks everybody's sick of the toxic stuff. We just want to see DC succeed and get our characters on screen. Everybody's sick of the toxic stuff, and people already were sticking words in her mouth. I get it. Grace is kind of unlikable at times, but there were people in the chat saying that she didn't say, like, I heard what she said. She said, everybody's sick of the toxic stuff, Yeah. And they were saying that Grace was saying, everybody's sick of DC. What? That's not what the fuck Grace said. I watched the video. Where do you guys get that from? She didn't say everybody's sick of DC. She said everybody's sick of the toxic side of DC. And we are. We're sick of it.
Well, here's the thing, right? And I've said this before, and I'll say it again because it's literally the truth. The issue with this whole DC stuff and the whole Zack Snyder stuff is the same thing that happens with every freaking movement that exists.
Yeah, all fandoms.
Not even fandoms, just movements. Black Lives Matter, all this stuff. Anything that brings people together for a common goal. Once that goal is achieved, you have people still holding on because they got what they wanted. They want more. And because they got what they wanted once, now they feel like they are entitled to more. So that's what it is. That's what the toxicity is. It's not the whole fan base, obviously, but it is a big chunk of group of people who got what they wanted, but now they want more.
They want more.
Now, how much more can we get now? They heard us, guys. They're listening to us. Let's keep the pressure on. And that's what is coming now, because they're not getting what they want. They're like children we're not gonna watch. They still will.
No,
if you're
Saggy,
fans
I honestly
of DC,
believe
be fans of DC. It's not about Zack Snyder. I'm sorry. People like
exactly.
We can be fans of both. You can be fans of both. But what are you more of? Are you more of a DC fan? Because DC characters existed before Zack Snyder touched it, or are you just a fan of Zack Snyder? Like which is it? Because you can't sit there and tell me you're a DC fan, but you're only a DC fan if a certain director makes your DC stuff. DC existed when Zack Snyder was in probably, how old is he? Like, how old was Zack Snyder when DC started, when the characters were created? Guarantee he was not. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, people need to prioritize here. Do you want DC? Do you want these characters to be good entertainment? Or do you want just one guy to do all of it? Because you can't have it both fucking ways. I'm sorry. That's not how the entertainment industry works.
I think that, yeah, I mean, a lot of people, again, they react. And, and obviously the way, I think we can honestly agree that, I agree. Actually, let's just check out let's check out the Grace video for a few minutes, because I haven't seen this yet. So
she goes in pretty hard, but she makes a lot of sense in this one, man. And I understand being reactionary, but being reactionary to a point that you start creating conspiracy theories and grifting off of it and putting alternate realities in your head. You know what I mean? You've built headcanon and now you expect to see that on the screen, man. Touch some grass.
Yeah, it's people have, they have issues. All right, let's check this out.
I would say this is the beginning of the end for the Snyderverse. I think that's a pretty safe bet at this point, because this one's a doozy. If Gal Gadot can fall, anyone can fall, and will fall, I believe. And I actually think it's the right decision. I'm excited to hear your thoughts down below. It might finally be happening. And let's dive into this. So for the past few weeks, ever since James Gunn and Peter Safran were announced as the new heads of the DCEU, or the DCU, DC Studios, all the actors have been real nervous, and with good reason. A number of you have been taking their social media posts at face value, not realizing that they've actually been campaigning for survival, as I have been telling you. I hope if you learn anything from this, it's that, actors and talent and managers will put stuff out there to try and get you to back them and to believe that it's happening so they can strong arm the studio into making it happen. And I think that's what you've been seeing. And I think it's happened particularly with Warner Brothers, because in the past, Warner Brothers and DC have been swayed by online chatter from fans. So much so that talent has taken to weaponizing fans, in many cases against the studio. And Warner Brothers Discovery has still followed this path, even though it has not worked out well for them at all. But as we've been discussing, and on top of all the bad negative energy and the toxicity, those same aggressive fans, they don't even show up to actually support these projects with ticket sales or clicks. It's like that never materializes. And it looks like wrong. James Gunn and Peter Safran, again, the new heads of DC Studios, are not going to stay stuck in this never-ending loop of complaints and failure. That's harsh, I gotta say, but I think it's an apt description of what's been going on. They're gonna break the cycle. And as I said, if Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman is going, everyone is likely going. We're talking everybody. Except maybe the Suicide Squad cast, as Gunn selected them or worked with them himself, namely Margot Robbie. I think it would be very difficult for him to let Margot Robbie go. Will Gunn have the discipline to truly start from scratch? We'll see. I hope that he does, with all due respect to Margot Robbie. But I think it's time for somebody else. She has a lot of fans online for her Harley Quinn, but again, they don't materialize. So let's go and get somebody else like Anya Taylor-Joy. Why do we only have Lady Gaga is going to take the role over, of course, for the Joker movie. But, wouldn't it be nice to be excited about some casting announcements in DC proper for a change? Although all these different universes are going to go away. Also, that's something else James Gunn has promised, which I think is the right move. Now, The Hollywood Reporter broke this story, reporting that Gunn and Safran Well, we've heard that Gunn and Safran will be presenting their plan to David Zaslav soon, but the Hollywood Reporter specified that it could be as early as next week. They're going to start sitting down, mapping it out. It's going to be a process, and that Zaslav does need to approve it. So they're not going to like say, do you like this or not? They're going to start sitting down together and mapping it out. And it'll probably take the whole holiday season to do that. Remember, because also it's the holidays. Although kudos to Gunn and Safran and Zazie for working through the holidays. That's how important DC is to Warner Brothers' future. Or sales price, if Zazie decides to sell it. Remember, I told you that one of the things they're considering is focusing on Viola Davis's Amanda Waller, the trial of Amanda Waller to start, because Gunn has promised, as I just said, a unified front with a single DC universe across all the platforms, which I think is crucial. I agree, that is crucial. And so it would be great to have a kickoff storyline that made that clear. Now, of course, Wonder Woman 1984 greatly shook the confidence of Warner Brothers and fans alike that Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins had a handle on this character. Remember how it's like Patty Jenkins is almost having the exact same experience as Dwayne Johnson. They were making comments of such bravado before their movies opened, like, oh, we totally get our characters. We're in charge of all DC. And we all were like, those are some aggressive comments. You sure you want to make them? And they were like, heck yeah. And as I've been saying, so far, everyone who's ever joined the DC group has regretted it. And sometimes it's happened so fast, like with Dwayne Johnson, it's like giving him whiplash. We'll talk about Dwayne Johnson today because he's been having a day too. I think James Gunn does not want to join that group. And so I think that's one of the reasons he's being so aggressive. And good for him, because if he wasn't this aggressive, I think he would be joining this support group of DC regret. So he has to do this. It's for his survival as well. I think Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins, they did it to themselves. The Hollywood Reporter says, though, in addition to the poor response to that film and the poor financial response to that film, their paydays were an issue. Warner Brothers was contractually obligated to pay Gal Gadot $20 million for Wonder Woman 3 and Patty Jenkins $12 million. And once again, it becomes clear that Warner Brothers Discovery ain't got no money. They can't even afford to release movies, much less pay people to make them. But that's so funny. Not so funny for everybody else. I wonder what's going on with Gunn and Safran. They're like, I think surely maybe they get some profit participation in the films. I mean, they're playing the long game, as they should. Also, Gunn in particular, he didn't have any other plays, certainly not at this level. So I think he was right to roll the dice here, no matter how it turns out, because what else was he going to do? But after Wonder Woman 1984 and a string of flops for Gal Gadot, I mean, look at her career right now. And Patty Jenkins getting kicked off of Star Wars, Kathleen Kennedy doesn't even want her. I mean, I don't think either is worth those paydays. Even if Warner Brothers Discovery had the money to give it to them, I'd be like, I'm not giving you that money. I mean, could Gal Gadot be like, could she take less money to stick around? I wouldn't do it. I think because they could have said, we'll make Wonder Woman 3 if you take less money, but they turned them down flat today. Yikes. But again, it needs to be done. And I'm so glad that Gunn and Safran are willing to do it. Clearly, Gal Gadot tweeted just the other day because she knew that the Wonder Woman 3 treatment had been handed in to Warner Brothers Discovery, and she wanted fan support. She wanted to point to the internet going, oh, we love you, Gal. We're so excited for Wonder Woman 3. But she got a big nothing burger in response to that tweet. Everybody was just like, what are you tweeting about? Are you sure I don't think you're coming back, Gal. And I think that probably made this decision even easier. That's what I was thinking. I was like, it's like the same, it's the same thing I was thinking about Dwayne Johnson's tweets today. I'm like, it's so bad, I'm just going to leave you alone. It's rough. Although now we'll talk about Dwayne Johnson because it can talk about it in this group of things. But I have a friend, by the way, who is a mega Wonder Woman fan. And he is the first call I made when this news broke. And I said, how do you feel about this? Are you devastated? Are you devastated? And he said, I'm torn, because I love Wonder Woman so much, and I did like the first movie. And he said, but Wonder Woman 1984 was so bad, he did not care for it. I thought it had its moments, although I totally could see why from a business perspective it was not engineered for success. And I never imagined they would have had that guy go back into that body after Steve Trevor used it. It's based on a movie where the guy was dead. He wasn't coming back. So my friend just said, as long as Wonder Woman as a character sticks around, he'll be happy. And for sure, James Gunn is going to go get his own Wonder Woman. And I worry a little bit about what that'll be, what that'll look like. But, he's done such a good job lately with Nebula. Well, the Russo brothers did a lot with Nebula, but James Gunn has ruined it. And I think his Mantis is wonderful. And Gamora looks pretty good in the upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Maybe he could do it. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because I'm tired of the negativity around DC. I'd also wager that Jeff Johns, as a co-writer on this treatment for Wonder Woman 3, along with Patty Jenkins, was a deal breaker. Patty Jenkins is nuts. I mean, it's like she didn't learn anything. That's the definition of insanity, that you keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. She's like, who should I write Wonder Woman 3 with? I know, Jeff Johns, who everybody's fighting with and says is toxic and a career killer. Let me go call him up. I mean, Gunn, who knows a lot of people, not just in Hollywood, but the comics industry, surely is aware of Johns' reputation at this point. It is a poorly kept secret. He not only got everybody in DC movies in trouble, but he completely obliterated the DC comic side. Diane Nelson, Dan DiDio, all these people, their careers are dead because of Jeff Johns. I mean, I think that Gunn's like, get the hell away from me. I think he wants him out of there before Jeff Johns can cause any damage to him and Safran's reign. I think that is probably a part of it as well. So that's one of the reasons to have such an emphatic no. I think he's also going to want Dwayne Johnson out of there for the same reason, because there can only be one cook, or two cooks, I guess, kind of, with Peter Safran in this kitchen. So speaking of desperate and embarrassing tweets, let's move over to Dwayne Johnson. This was so bad, who today tweeted out an article, or was that an advertisement from Deadline, claiming the Black Adam would actually turn a profit.
You called it an advertisement,
featuring some
Matt.
of the most creative math that Hollywood has ever seen. So creative that Hollywood had to call it out. Hollywood is infamous for creative math to hide profits. Just ask Scarlett Johansson. And even Hollywood was like, that's ridiculous. I can't believe you think anybody would buy that. In fact, if you noticed, there was also a little bit in that article about how $7, not Warner Brothers, but $7 was developing a Hawkman solo movie as to show that there was, a future for this brand. And that mysteriously disappeared from the article, perhaps because somebody got a call from a certain studio or executive or somebody. But I think that's very interesting, and it makes the story even more embarrassing. I mean, wow. And also the reference of Captain America making only $370. I mean, that was at the first of all, I know there are some Captain America, the First Avenger fans, but nobody thought that movie did particularly well. Kevin Feige got rid of Joe Johnston as the director. He was like, I got to get rid of you, and brought in the Russo brothers. So even Kevin Feige was like, there's problems here.
I like the first one.
And they totally did an overhaul on the Captain America branding and the tone. I mean, if you look at the rest of the Captain America movies, they look nothing like the First Avenger. And I think for a reason. And also, that was the very beginning of the MCU, not so many movies in, and when other movies have made so much money. I mean, it was such a Dwayne Johnson is a producer and should know better than to make a comparison like that. I mean,
sorry. What is this media offline thing?
I think it's her. I honestly think it's her, without saying it, saying also China. You know what I mean? I think she's, because there's the Asian writing there. I don't know why she put that in there.
Yeah,
but I just feel like it has something to do with China.
Okay, it's just so weird. That's a deep cut that I'm not getting, but that's fine. Let's keep going.
It's just amazing. It was just incredible to see. Also, recent screenings, by the way, speaking of removing things, recent screenings for The Flash have Henry Cavill's recently filmed cameo removed. He's back out. And Ben Affleck's similarly recently filmed cameo out of Aquaman 2. They've both been taken out. I do believe James Gunn is going to nuke the whole DCEU from orbit and build DC Studios from scratch, or on top of the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. I don't know how he could get away with that. It seems very sloppy to me. And again, it's going to grow back from that. But I mean, let's see. Now, to be clear, I believe that chatter, fan chatter and scoop chatter is very healthy for a franchise. It keeps the conversation going and keeps people interested. but not the conspiracy theories that have for too long weighed down the DCEU and created a toxic environment. I think everyone's just tired of it. Everybody. Gunn and Safran need to make it clear that they're doing their own thing and cut off the Snyderverse, which, with all due respect, I do believe includes Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. I don't know. Again, it's the same, what I was just saying about the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. I just don't know how you can keep any part of it without it being weird and still allowing these conspiracy theories to fester. Let's just get all new talent in here. That's what I think we all want to see. Once the current slate is done. And if that is the case, by the way, Zazie might as well get a tax write-off for all these movies. He's really cash poor. He needs the tax write-offs because now, what's the point of these movies? And they're so far out. Aquaman 2 is a year away. Why would anybody want to watch that? Especially if they're not going to continue with that. Although Jason Momoa is saying that James Gunn's calling him up. Maybe he's offering him Lobo because he's not going to be Aquaman anymore. Maybe he neglected to mention that second shoe dropping to Jason Momoa on the call. That would be interesting. That would be, but I still think a Jason Momoa Lobo movie would make as little money as Black Adam, as I said in the live stream the other day. I also hope that the poor performance of Shazam and Black Adam shows that as much as James Gunn might like these quirky, smaller characters, that's not the path forward for DC. Certainly not out of the gate. I know he had a lot of success with Guardians of the Galaxy, but I think that was a unique situation, and after they'd already built the original Trinity for Marvel and the Avengers. So I just don't think I hope that they start out on solid footing with the core Justice League characters. I think that's really what they need to do. And these actors should stop campaigning because it's embarrassing. And speaking of embarrassment, Wonder Woman 1984, Black Adam, I think DC fans are tired of being embarrassed in the superhero space. And really, they want the nuclear option as well. I think even in the past few weeks, I've seen the most diehard Snyder fans be like, you know what, I think it's time to move on. So I think James Gunn has the popularity with the same kind of fandom to get away with it, which I think almost every executive would not be able to do. So maybe that was a good reason to hire him. I didn't think of that. Maybe Zazzy's a little bit smarter than we think. All right, so there it is. That's the most recent development. Do you think it's the beginning of the end? And the beginning of the beginning. Let's stick to positivity.
Let's stick to positivity.
Now, I know that
there's so much I agree with her on.
Exactly. I know a lot of people don't like this woman, but when she's on, there are sometimes she used to be like this all the time. She wasn't always that other side of her. When she first started BTT and Movie Math, she was a different person. I think celebrity went to her head, but everything she said in that may not be 100% factual, but I agree with everything she said.
Yeah, the whole thing about recasting, like I've said, dude, these actors can't do these characters for the long run. A lot of them want to move on to other projects. They don't want to be limited to just being known. Like, yeah, some of them are completely fine with it, but a lot of them do these movies. They do them for a bit. They build their resume, and then they want to move on to other things. Like, there are comedians out there who do comedy movies, and then they try their hand at more serious takes. And again, it's really, the reality of it is, this is a job. These people are signed on to do a job. They want to eventually go on to do other jobs. So to think that Margot Robbie, and I love Margot Robbie, I love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, but they have an expiration date, guys. And I would love to see these people do these roles because they're really good at it.
But Henry Cavill's not too old to play Superman.
It's not even about him being too old. It's about him wanting to do other things. Like,
well, next time you're going to be on TMZ or some shit.
I know, I get the joke, but it's like, I get the joke, but it's kind of just like, regardless of which, yeah, it is going to come to a time. Yes, Henry Cavill is going to age out of the role. Hello, aging is a thing. He can't stay young and gorgeous forever as much as I would love.
Honestly, Rational, that's a great question. And I do agree with you about that kind of stuff. I really agree with you on that. I do. But it's so messed up and the debris is so bad, and DC has gone in so many different directions. It's like a sports team. sometimes you just gotta rebuild, man.
Wait, hold on, RJ. That's not a bad example because Hugh Jackman he retired from the role because he was getting older, but he's coming back because Ryan Reynolds wanted him to, and it's not like he's coming back for an entire Wolverine film. He's coming back again. They do it as favors, like Matt said earlier. Ben Affleck was coming back to do a cameo as a favor, not because he wanted to. He already said he didn't want to do a full feature Batman film. He didn't want us to do the suit for a whole entire movie. So he opted in for doing a cameo, which takes less time in shooting and less stress on his body and his mental state. So he would do it. Again, these people are people. They're doing a job, they're providing a service, and that's it. They eventually want to move on to do other projects. Like, got all these actors while filming these movies for us to be entertained by are also doing other projects at the same time. Henry Cavill filming The Witcher and also being Superman. Henry Cavill filming his cameos for Black Adam while also, doing other things. Like, these actors are not limited to just one iconic role. They want to grow. They want to do other things. They eventually are going to either want to do it or they're signed on for a certain amount of film projects to do it. So for people to get all pissy, and here's the thing too, I get what Rational's saying, but like, they've been doing this for a long time. They've always rebooted. Again, they cannot keep the same actors forever. Michael Keaton couldn't be Batman for hundreds of years, guys. Like, it's just not reality.
Yeah, but I think like it's with a lot of the people, and I'm gonna, I guess, defend some of the fans here. It's not they want the characters to continue, but they also want the stories to finish.
Absolutely, of course.
And I think that's more,
of course, and that's fine.
And I think that's more of the issue. Like Logan got a finale, and then we're getting an encore in a very odd way, but okay. But again, even like Professor X had a finale, but we got an encore where he died again in like 5 minutes. In Multiverse of Madness, which I thought was great. But I think with this particular sense, it's like, yes, these characters will get older. They age out of their roles. You only have a limited amount of time, in many instances. Like Hugh Jackman, like I think they were afraid to recast Hugh Jackman because audiences kept showing up. But I think it goes to speak, like, if they would have given Henry Cavill the same amount of attention that Hugh Jackman got and just kind of kept working on it, I think the audiences would have kept up with it too. The thing with Cavill, though, is I think Cavill just got bad advice. And, again, but the way the studio operated with Justice League, it hurt him. It did hurt him. And then here comes The Witcher, which is something he wanted, but it wasn't being done in a way that he felt to be the most compelling and honorable to the books, apparently. At least that's the rumor. And he moved on. But I think people also need to realize that this is a business. This shit costs a fuck ton of money.
Right.
And it takes like a couple of years to get these things off the ground. And it just like, I could sit there and like spend a weekend and write a shitty found footage movie, go out and film it over like 2-3 days. And then bam, I'd have a full fucking movie done. Right. But that's like a movie that's like, super cheap, super easy to make, no effects, but these big spectacles. And then they go into worldwide distribution and all the money and everything else.
Sorry. Go
yeah.
ahead.
Oh no. What's our, sorry.
I didn't say there's two people that asked a question. I want to.
I didn't see that. I'm sorry. All right. RJ here says, isn't it a risk to ask the audience to reinvest time and money into a new cinematic universe when the last 9 years ultimately didn't mean shit and went nowhere? Fox.
Yeah, I think it's a huge risk. I think what we're seeing happen to DC right now is the same thing that happened when Disney bought Fox and they fucked up the Dark Phoenix saga. I think it is a risk, but I think if people really care about twice. But I think if people really care about these characters, they'll always come back.
Yeah, that's the whole thing, though. Is like it's better to just okay. Are these characters more important than the actors playing them? Yes. Yes. At the end of the day, yes.
And get as mad at Quentin Tarantino as you want for saying it, but he was right.
Well, somebody said, so I want to address, like I said, some things that were addressed to me. I think Rational was asking, if where was it? God damn it, I lost it.
Feige rebooted Endgame after Endgame.
Because those stories aren't done. Those stories aren't done, and on top of that, obviously, like, so if you look at Marvel's formula right now, they've killed off iconic characters, basically gave those characters to other characters, which is weird, but those stories aren't done. Eventually they will.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like Captain Falcon, or the Winter Soldier, like Captain America's gone, so now we got Captain Falcon or whatever the hell you call him.
Well, yeah, because Captain America is a name. Steve,
Yeah, no, I get it, but I'm saying like now they're not rebooting because the story's not over. But I think Spherical Man said, but Saggy, in that case, whose fault is that the WB is not utilizing the actors for the characters while they had them? Here's the thing. Again, I think people forget this whole thing called franchising, which is they've had Batman and Superman and all these characters, like especially Batman and Superman. We'll just focus on that. They've done so many Batman and Superman movies that had many different characters. You're going to have your good ones. You're going to have your bad ones. At this point, like, yeah, we've had some bad. We've had some good. It's still the same thing. I do agree that, yeah, like if you have these actors who play the roles good, you should utilize them as much as you can, especially if, like, financially, if the money comes in, why not? But at the same time, reboots are always going to happen because they have to keep these characters alive. They have to keep these characters going, not the actors, the characters.
Well, I think, again, it's kind of like with Marvel. Marvel has got a litany of characters. And when they came out and they started Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, the Hulk, these were kind of B tier characters.
Yeah.
These weren't your main, I mean, people knew who they were, but they, there was like, these were kind of like this was like the best of what they had access to because they had sold off the rights to Spider-Man and X-Men. And so what they did is they took those characters and they went, okay, let's build them up to the Avengers. The Avengers
we still have the Avengers, we can work with that
for the for the most part, like with the Hulk being like the only weird part about that, and they go, okay, great. So let's do that. And then they go, here's the first one with a good casting, a good director, a good movie. People responded. Let's keep going. All right. We've had a couple, Thor, the Dark World. That was a bit of a dip. Iron Man 3. That was a bit of a dip. Not the end of the day, at the end of the world. Iron Man 2 was not, was considered mid by some people's perspective.
I know, and I love that one.
When I watched it, I found myself really liking it. There's some problems with it that I've got, but again, at the end of the day, it's worth its sum of parts,
Right.
But what I'm saying, Saggy, is like Marvel just kept going, right? In this particular case, it's but they did also like sign people to these deals where these deals would pay off more over time.
I was just going to say,
making the incentive there, whereas DC paid up front and that didn't, and that's going to end up biting them in the ass down the road.
Because I was going to say that perfect example of financial, the whole thing that people forget too is the money, because if you guys paid attention to the Johnny Depp trial, Walter Hamada testified, he basically kind of gave us an insight on the contracts that these actors have, where Amber Heard was offered X amount of money for her first appearance in Aquaman, and then as far as coming back, they offer more money. So it gets to the point where these actors are going to start being worth more than the companies are willing to pay. So they're going to recast for that reason as well. Just like we read off, and what Grace even said is that if Gal Gadot's willing to take a pay cut to do Wonder Woman 3, then they will probably do it because they need to save money. Gal Gadot is now too expensive to cast, and that's for a full feature film.
And I think even maybe Henry's got that same problem,
Yeah, Henry's a lot of money now too. He's went from Superman. He did The Witcher. He's
he was in Mission Impossible.
Well, that was the last feature film he was in released theatrically. He did the 2 Enola Holmes movies. In the meantime, both of which are very good, by the way. I really enjoy the Enola Holmes movies quite a bit. And then, of course, The Witcher, and other things. And he's attached to Highlander, but we don't know when that's going to start. There's been the rumor of the Mass Effect project, whatever that might be. The thing is, though, I do feel that in Henry Cavill's case, I think this is proof positive that he needs to get rid of his management. But I keep saying that all the time. But when you think about in general, like, what Gunn, if we think about what Gunn may potentially do, because, Grace said if they do a Lobo movie, it'd make about as much as Black Adam. Bullshit. because for one, it'd have guns and names attached to it. And it would definitely, it would have, it would have solid word of mouth.
And it's something fresh. Not
and
that
it's something
like
fresh.
Blue Beetle and things like that aren't fresh.
It's not
but
even that Black
Batgirl,
Adam.
Batman, all that. Yeah, well, you're right. Batman was fresh, but nobody knew who the fuck that. Well, nobody knows who Lobo is either. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Well, okay. I'll put it to you like this. There's a difference there. People know who Batman is, but it was a new Batman. People knew that it was Robert Pattinson, the Twilight guy. The mainstream audience doesn't know a lot of his independent work that he had been building up for years following the release of Twilight, which was 10 years ago, the final one. So like he had worked on a lot more stuff and become a lot better of an actor.
Yeah, he had a lot of indie cred too.
But what sold that movie though was like the atmosphere, and the trailers were really good. The
trailers were amazing. The score, dude.
Yeah, it was great stuff. And then of course, then there was good word of mouth with Batman. And then when it comes to, let's say a character like Lobo, if Jason Momoa does play Lobo, yeah, there might be people that just go, but wait, wasn't he fucking Aquaman? Like, why would you go from like Aquaman to Lobo? Because Jason Momoa is a dude who likes to swear. He likes raunchy stuff, and it's not to say that Aquaman doesn't have a little bit of that, because it does, but like being able to remember, he was going to go be the Crow, right?
I wanted that.
I know.
I'm one of those people that don't want anyone to ever fuck with the Crow, but I would have went with Jason.
I had to do some research real quick because we were talking about money. So, perfect example. Sorry, and then I'll shut up about the money stuff. Perfect example of how these actors, when they start off, right? For example, Chris Hemsworth, when his first appearance as Thor, it says here, he basically earned $150,000. For Thor: Love and Thunder, he was paid $20 million. Obviously, his finances increased as he continued to do the role.
Yeah.
So that's why I say, like, these actors eventually.
Yeah, that's exactly how it works.
Yeah, they start. It's a lot of things.
Robert Downey Jr. is a comeback story. Okay, he was fresh out of prison when they started talking to him about Iron Man. Well, not fresh out, but he had just done a bit and heroin addicted. Nobody wanted to touch him, and Jon Favreau was like, "Okay, bring it on." And by the time it was over, Robert Downey Jr. was running that character. He can name his price.
But that's what I'm saying when people are talking about these actors playing these roles, is that there's a lot that goes into it. They either get too expensive to cast, to make movies, they want to move on and do other movies, or they just age out of the role. So there's a lot of elements that people don't remember when they're talking about their favorite celebrity. Like, yeah, dude, I love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I guarantee you, with RJ said, how much money do you think they offered Hugh Jackman to come back as Wolverine for the Deadpool movie?
Especially after all the little inside jokes and Easter eggs about.
I don't think it was his idea to come back, according to Ryan Reynolds.
Might have been.
I don't think it was like. I'm sure it was a fair amount, but what I mean is, like, I think it's more like, again, it's the concept of he's doing it with his friends, and I think that's more of a factor.
Yeah,
but I mean, obviously,
they
also can look at the success of the box office of the last two and be like, yeah, us combined, there's a high likelihood of it cracking $1 billion.
Oh no, of course, I'm sure.
Let's be fucking real.
No, I mean, I'm sure, but I'm saying, like, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, he definitely, especially being Hugh Jackman, as time went on, he got too expensive. Yeah. I mean,
and Matt, we have seen
worth a lot of money.
And Matt, we have seen actors play different superheroes. Ryan Reynolds not only played Deadpool twice, but he was Green Lantern. And then before that, Chris Evans was the Human Torch, and then became Captain America.
Yeah, no, we've seen it. I mean, it's definitely happened before. I think though, look, like I said, like when you look at the point I want to make is that when you look at Black Adam, you don't see Black Adam, you see The Rock. When you look at, if Jason Momoa played Lobo, he would be like in white, he'd have white skin and the black hair and everything else.
Yeah.
And he would be doing his thing, and that would be all
right.
Paints
yeah, his face too, right?
Yeah.
Lobo paints his face. Yeah.
And you could totally see, like, all right, cool, Momoa could fall into that role. Like, like you look at, and the thing is, Momoa has the ability to kind of, fall into these characters. His work is called Drogo. Drogo was good. I liked him in Game of Thrones. I just watched Slumberland the other night. And I thought he was, at first I was like, I wasn't too sure because I didn't really care for the trailer, but I watched the movie and I thought he was really good in the movie. And I was like, all right, great. I love Momoa.
Yeah, Momoa is a good actor because you take his role in Game of Thrones and then you look at him in Aquaman, completely different characters, completely different
and he's able to play both, right? He's able to play both. Like the Arthur Curry in Aquaman might be kind of, to some extent, tonally similar in some ways to what Lobo might be. But again, it's going to be like far removed. And I agree with RJ that no one's going to expect, $800 million for a Lobo movie.
No.
But if they do a $50-60 million, mid-budget movie that's shot on like
around 350,
they rake it. Yeah. I mean, like that is kind of what they're going to do. I honestly think that's what they're going to do, because if you look at, let's say, James Gunn's primary approach to stuff, his beginnings were low budget, fair, like Slither. Right, 2006's Slither was low budget. He wrote both Brightburn and the Belko Experiment. Both of those definitely made their money back. Both had budgets of $5 million. Super, I want to say had a budget of like $9 million, maybe.
Yeah, it's an indie film. Yeah,
an indie film. So he knows how to take characters, and he knows how to craft them, and he knows how to tell stories. And so he might want to start like with these smaller characters, and again turn these lesser known characters into household names, like he did with the Guardians of the Galaxy. And again, if you think about what he did with Peacemaker, same thing. Peacemaker was a character like, oh, who's everyone get to play in fucking the Suicide Squad? Oh, John Cena. Who the fuck is Peacemaker? Never heard of this guy before. Fuck? And then like, oh, they're doing a Peacemaker show. What the fuck is
the first scene in the first episode is them cracking a joke about not knowing. Get the fuck out of here. There's no hero called Peacemaker.
Yeah. He's like, talking to the fucking orderly. Dude, that was great.
The guy mopping the floor. Yeah, man. And believe it or not, I don't know how James Gunn did it, but he somehow made John Cena be able to emote.
No, he sold it really well. Cena was able to, again, the saying I learned in film school was a good director can make a bad actor better. A good actor cannot make a bad director better. And that's a fair, and the thing is, James Gunn is a solid creative. He's a solid director. He understands these things. So take that and apply it to a macro level when looking at the general idea of where they want to go. I do personally believe that if James Gunn and Peter Safran saw a pathway forward with these characters and these actors, they would find a way to do it. I do believe that.
I think that's too.
I was going to say, I will say there is actually, now that I think about it, there is one thing I disagree with Grace on, is that I think that if Gal Gadot, like if it was me personally, my personal take on it would be, I would take a pay cut for Wonder Woman 3 because I would do it for the fans, because the fans are going to show up, and I would take the pay cut just because it's like, listen, I love this character so much. This character is something that I put a lot of my soul into, my heart into. I would take the pay cut for Wonder Woman 3 just because I want to do it.
She's like a loyal chick, and her and Patty are close, man.
Yeah,
I get that. Aside from that, I get it. But like, if I really cared about Wonder Woman as a character and I played it and the fans like loved it, I'd take the pay cut just for the fans.
Well, but you got to understand though too, it's like the Patty thing's going to be a big issue. And also these movies take like 6 months to make. So that's a massive time investment. Whereas like, again, Heart of Stone, whatever they paid her for Netflix, they pay up front. So she gets that money up front. She's already been paid for it. And, a lot of people are still sticking with Netflix as like a company that produces content, because what I think, if I were Gunn, what I would look at again, as just like an example, I would look at how 20th Century Studios is taking these like low to mid budget movies and putting them on Hulu, where they're actually getting really solid responses. Now, I know that Zaslav doesn't want to put movies on HBO Max for original content, which I think is stupid. But, again, you go, we need to produce these movies that are like, we're talking like 30, 50 million, right? Maybe less than that. Like Violent Night, for example, love the fucking movie, $20 million budget, made 13.3 million its first weekend. It's gonna make back its production budget.
Tell me Prey shouldn't have been in the theater.
Fucking look, did it need a little bit of work on some of the visual stuff? Yeah, it did. Right, but I loved Prey.
Yeah,
I loved
Prey. Been in theaters, man. That other one that went straight to HBO with the girl that's playing Wednesday. That's a gut punch. I watched that one a couple days ago. That movie's a gut punch.
Which one?
The girl that plays the Fallout.
Jenna Ortega.
The Fallout.
Yeah, Jenna Ortega.
I don't know about
that school shooting.
Oh,
and her falling in love with the girl that they went through it with, and the relationship with her mom and her baby sister. Dude, that movie had me almost on the floor, bro.
By the way, it's late. It's like almost 5 o'clock.
I gotta cut this thing out here.
Before I go though, real quick, I want to clarify. I'm not saying like I agree that she shouldn't take a pay cut. Like, I get that. I'm not saying that her not taking a pay cut or whatever is like her not caring about the character. I'm just saying, like, I don't blame her for that, but I'm saying, like, you know, if you're gonna go out with a bang, right? Just screw it. Like, go out on that note. If you're gonna go out and you're not gonna do the character, I would have just said, screw it, I'll take the pay cut and do the role and finish that story arc. Because like I said, Gal Gadot has become like a name now, and she has a lot of projects, so she definitely is getting offers a lot of money for other stuff she's doing. But that's what I was like basically saying. I hope no one took that and implied that I was saying, oh, she doesn't care about the character because she won't take a pay cut. Like,
I don't think anyone thinks
I just want to clarify, because
Yeah,
people
I
like
don't
to
think
take things. I just want to make sure that's clear. Like, I think that her not taking a pay cut is not like her being bad. It's just like, I personally would just be like, fuck it, I'm gonna go out with a bang, and I'm just gonna get all these projects and just say go with it. But no, this was fun. I am gonna go to bed though. I'm exhausted. Matt, are you alive?
Sorry, I kind of blinked for a second.
I didn't. I always listen to everything you say.
Did you not blink?
I simp hard. I'm goat simp.
No, I just kind of I just kind of tuned out for a second.
Anthony, that's the one I've been waiting for.
Did you space out?
It's the one I want. I've been waiting for that one, like Days of Future Past. That's the one I felt we deserved.
But yeah, I'm gonna dip. I love you guys. Thank you for having me on. It was fun, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Go get some rest.
Bye, Saki.
Yeah, a Deathstroke movie. I really want one, Matt. When it came to the X-Men, I'm okay with the classic first stuff, you know, and I was super excited for Wolverine. Logan will always be my probably favorite. But when I think of the best, me and Brodan both say this, when I think of the best Marvel movie ever made, not MCU movie, but Marvel movie, Days of Future Past is the one I wanted. And I got it. Now if we could just get that Deathstroke. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it's entirely possible that, again, if it's a cheap enough movie,
40 million, you could do something really good with that.
Well, you could, yeah. I mean, like, you know, Dread was made for 50 million.
That's a great movie, okay? And what's her name killed it? I always say her name wrong. Lena Headey. Lena Headey killed it. Anyway, I know you got to bounce out of here. Let me get out of here so you can close your show.
All right,
sorry I lost my temper a little bit on people tonight, but sometimes you just got to push back, Matt. You know what I mean? Anyway, okay. Close your stream and get some rest, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, but I'll talk to you later. All right, thank you very much, Chris and Saki. Yeah, it's been a long dude. I was like, I'm only going to go for like an hour and a half. Jesus Christ. There is RJ left a question. RJ, what question did he leave? All right. Do you think DC is going to hard reboot, or will they decide to keep things going with some actors? I mean, look, the smart play is a hard reboot. It is. It's painful up front, but you have more control and there's no baggage. That's the smart play. And you can rebuild with lower budget films, you know, and have them be compelling and interesting, be good, quality over quantity, and build up from there. Build up to a team up movie, and then, you know, see whether or not you can crack $1 billion or crack something along those lines. Other than that, it doesn't seem to. You just have baggage, and the more baggage you have, it doesn't make it any easier. It's a lot of the fans will never be happy. They're very vocal on social media. Not that I don't know if they have a huge of an impact, but the longer that it's not fully explained, there's that. Now, is it possible that these actors could be reformatted into other characters? Yes, that's entirely a possibility, but I don't see everyone doing it. Like Momoa, I could see being Lobo, as he's a big Lobo fan. Affleck loved playing Batman. I don't think he's going to want to go play somebody else. Gal might. If the character is compelling enough, she might. But she's also spent 9 years as Wonder Woman. You know, that's a long time. Ben Affleck was cast as Batman back in 2013. Again, almost 10 years. You know, and then Henry Cavill was cast back in 2011. So it's now been 11 years. And we've had one Superman, but only one standalone movie. You know, there's a lot of baggage there. I would hope that Gunn would be able to figure out a way to do it. But it's not just Gunn, it's also Safran. And if it's true what that article said about Safran seeking help from friends about how to pitch it properly, how to write it properly, then this seems to be that they really care about what's going on, that they really care about the situation as a whole. And they want to do right by not only, the audience, but their peers and the talent as well. I don't think they want to fuck anybody over. I really don't think that. But I do think that there is a reality that's not being addressed here. And that is just simply finances and business and release schedules and, things like that. Because if they're building out a plan that's going to include theatrical and streaming and video games, that's a lot to plot out. That is a big undertaking. And that's going to require a lot of dedication from the people involved. And if actors aren't signed to those kind of agreements, then they're going to have to wait and see what happens. But in the meantime, I don't know. I would love to see the characters all get another shot. I would love to. Donise here says, one last question. Did I see 200 million on the screen with Black Adam? I mean, no, not really, but some of the cinematography was really good. I thought the effects were really good. I mean, I could definitely see that money went into the movie. And I thought that that they definitely spent it on the screen. The problem, though, is that Dwayne Johnson got 20 million up front. And, whatever else $7 brought to the table or, and then there's again, the amount of money that, they might actually, I don't even know if I did. Sorry, I'm starting to get sleepy, guys. Zack Snyder's Black Adam was a ripoff of Zack movies. No, I had a similar color palette in certain ways, but no, I don't believe so. I don't believe so, you guys. So, all right, it is about 2:00 in the morning, 1:42 a.m. my time. We still have 105 people watching. You guys have been fantastic. Thank you so much. I know, like I said, it's been a bit contentious. I apologize. I get a little snappy with people. That's just me. But if you guys haven't already, please consider hitting the like button. We got 57 likes right now. We can get there a little bit more. Here's the thing, Rational. What happens to Constantine 2? I was thinking about that. I don't know. I don't know. That is something that could easily be canceled. And I don't want it to, because I want Keanu to come back. I want that character to come back. What happens to Joker 2? Joker 2 is going to happen. Joker 2 is absolutely going to happen. I don't think it should. I know it starts filming here pretty soon. I don't think it should. I think I think it should be canceled. I think it should go away. I don't think it should happen. Am I going to watch it? Sure. Am I going to support it? Sure. But I don't think it should be. I think either what they should do. Okay, I'll tell you guys this. Here's my last thoughts on this one, because I do got to get to bed. As I've said before, and I say it again, they should take Joker and they should tie it into Pattinson's Batman and have Pattinson be young Bruce Wayne that was met in Joker. Okay. And have those particular, the Pattinson movies take place in the 90s. And then Affleck play the older Batman or whatever else, right? Now, I know that sounds crazy, but I think if they did it, it would work. And because there's different, Gotham itself is never changed. And Batman became cynical. And the Batman, he's hopeful, right? I need to be a sign of hope, And then in Batman v Superman, he's cynical because he's tried and nothing has changed. So you can see a character progression there. Now, will they do it? Absolutely not, but they should. They absolutely should. Bossman here says, Mikey said Black Adam was tracking for $1 billion. Yeah, something like that. It's something like that. It's so ridiculous that people, I don't know, man. Mikey, the more I think about what the stuff he says, every time I hear him talk and I think about the things he said to me, I just start to see the bullshit and the lies. And I'm just like, oh, God damn it. Which is one of the reasons why I don't really want to talk about scoops or leaks or rumors at all anymore. You know what I mean? I gotta record some reviews for Podio Commentary, which I will probably tomorrow. Cause I'm feeling better. I'm still run down, but I'm feeling better. And then I've been trying to, again, figure out how to do long form discussions, long form stuff. I don't know. Let me ask you guys this, because there's still 100 of you guys in here. When it comes to long form individual movie discussion, do you guys want me to format it with are you more interested in more of a data driven kind of, I don't want to say necessarily an essay, but more structured format where I wouldn't necessarily be on camera. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. But like having, you know, visual aids and things along those lines and putting together like a bit of an essay that has a bit more freeform thought to it. Or would you just rather me like jump on camera and spend like 20, 30 minutes just trying to like, and have notes obviously, but like dive into a movie, something like that with a couple of added things in there. I'm just trying to think of like the best workflow for me and like what the audience would relate to. Because like me personally, like I like to dive into like, you know, the research and then do all that. And then I don't mind the editing process of it, but like, it's when it's like, you know, the edit sometimes can take a long time, and that's where I just get bogged down because, you know, like life and shit. But where if it's a freeform thing, I can just have a conversation or a stream of consciousness about it that goes on for a long period of time. But since it's not the most heavily edited, it makes it kind of, I don't want to say boring, but it's like, it may not be for everyone. I'm just, you know, I've been watching different reviewers and different things like that to kind of get an idea. I'm just wondering what you guys are into, you know, on camera stream of consciousness. Well, you know what, if I do, you know, I did review, Violent Night the other day over on Podio Commentary. That is just like 8 minutes of a stream of consciousness, you know? So the Batman, you could say the Batman takes place in like 1995 and like no one would care, Anthony. You know what I mean? Like no one would care. Like no one would give a shit. It's like you know, are you really going to be like, technical about it? Like, no. Will I be doing call-ins? Yeah, we'll do call-ins again. Tomorrow's Thursday. I'll probably be streaming tomorrow night. Maybe tomorrow night, maybe we'll do that. But I do need to do another After Dark one. So, you know, I'm just saying, yeah, you could just sit there and say, you could sit there and just say that it's like, or it took place in 2000, right? Or it just took place in 2000 or some shit like that. You know, the technology would kind of be there. He's the world's greatest detective. He has all these gadgets, you know, and the gadgets in the Batman were a little rudimentary. You know, they were a little rudimentary. They weren't like super high tech like we've seen in other Batman iterations before. This was like first generation shit. So you could easily make that claim and like have it tie in. Go to bed. Let's see here. James Cameron tells us that Avatar 5 will see action on Earth and Earth 200 years from now. Dude, how the fuck would the Na'vi survive in our atmosphere? That's my question. But I'd be okay with that one. You know, you forgot the Riddler. People were live streaming back in 2000. Plushy. That's true. They were. The live streaming was actually a thing back then. So, you know, I mean, you could do it. You could just, you know, it was like, it wasn't as popular as it is now, but you could do it. You know, and forums were a thing too. So you could just sit there and say it happened in 2000. You look, remember the opening of Spider-Man Homecoming when it was like 8 years after the events of Avengers, and everyone's like, what are you talking about 8 years later? Right. You know, so I mean, like, no one questions it now, sort of thing. If James Gunn were to do a Jurassic Park trilogy, would I watch it? Yeah, I'd watch it, but I'm like, I don't know. I don't think you would. That's way too much. That's like way too much. So anyway, you know, all right. Yes, I'm going to go to bed. But thank you all so much for chilling tonight. I really appreciate it. If you get a kick out of the thumbnail or any of the dumb shit that I've said this evening, please do me a favor and leave a like. Subscribe if you're new. And remember, guys, it's just movies. It ain't the end of the world. But these are always things we enjoy talking about. See you tomorrow night. It's going to be another fun conversation. Talk about The Witcher a little bit. Maybe some Batman Gate. All right, everybody. Have yourself a good night. And peace out.